ESPN HD. Here at Lane Stadium, fans on their feet, excitement building as the Hokies take on the 23rd ranked Maryland Terrapins, and the Hokies will walk down that narrow, claustrophobic tunnel, dimly lit, about 4 wide, take a left turn, head down to the field, and you hear Metallica playing. Exit light, enter night, enter the Hokies, one of the most dramatic and frenzied runouts in college football. This is Thursday night when the Hokies excel, and this is an entrance unlike any other in college football. A hard-rocking start to a crucial collision in the ACC tonight. Both Maryland and the Hokies control their destiny. Time this season, accompanied by the Maroon Pants. We'll get to football first. Halloween over, but the spirit lives on here in Blacksburg.
Same week.
The Hokies uniforms, by the way, match the colors of the fall foliage. Just a beautiful setting. You can't see it at night, obviously, but the trees and the area and the mountains around the stadium, beautiful cup. Very mild night. We're used to seeing sleet and rain in Blacksburg in November. No, sir, balmy. So Obiega Casey had the game-winning field goal against NC State. The opening kickoff, and it's taken by Darrell Roberts. Roberts breaks a tackle, finds a little crease, and a good return across the 30-yard line, and that's where Sean Glennon will get the offense going, and we'll keep a very close eye on that ankle, Craig, as we said.
You know what, you just visiting with him this week, you know that it means a lot to him to come out here and play. He's been given another chance. Jesse, you talked to him last night about having to grind through the ups and downs of starting.
Well, you know, and the bad news for Sean Glennon is he hurt that ankle against Florida State. The good news is it's not his anchor leg. It's not on his right foot, so he can still push off and get velocity on his throws tonight.
Darren Evans, the redshirt freshman tailback, is in the I formation, and immediately a false start penalty. That was the true freshman, Jared Boykin.
False start, 81, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You know, the receiving corps very, very young for the Hokies. They really need someone to step up. They want to feature Evans tonight for sure.
Darren Evans, the first Virginia Tech player to score at least 1 touchdown in his first 6 games at Virginia Tech.
And not a good start for Boykin, but he's got a lot of talent. Redshirt freshman, 17.1 per catch, and a lot of upside.
Greg Boone's a tight end who's caught 10 balls. He also was a high school quarterback. We might even see him tonight. Glennon, play action, fires incomplete on first down. Devin Perez, the fullback, was the intended receiver. Glennon, you know, given the starting job, a couple of times he's earned the starting job in the spring in the camp, and then had it taken away from him after a poor performance early in the season. It happened against East Carolina in the opener this season.
Well, you need to keep in mind, too, that in the ACC championship game last year, he was the most valuable player. He's been there, done that. He just needs to do it consistently.
2nd and 15. And it's Evans, his first carry tonight. He gets about 6, and will set up about 3rd and 10.
You know, I think one thing that's important to remember about this Virginia Tech offense and Sean Glennon, we mentioned he hasn't had his best performances at times this year, but this offense is very handcuffed. They lose their 4 best wide receivers to graduation last year. Some of them go on to play in the NFL. They lose their best left tackle. Brandon Orr, their supposed starting tailback, gets dismissed from the football team. They've had multiple injuries this year at the wide receiver position, so it's been that much harder to have success playing quarterback this year.
And it sure has. Evans to the left of Glennon on 3rd and 10. On that gimpy ankle, he's trying to scramble for it, and he'll just run out of bounds way short of the first down. Alex Wojak, the top tackler for the pack, forced him out.
You know what? If you can force Glennon out of the pocket, you've won as a Maryland defense, and make him run, which they did the stunt inside. Tonight they're going to go with a little bit wider splits, and we'll show you that on the offensive line to see if they can't widen out that defense and slow them down.
And the punter is Brett Bowden. He's a guitarist. He wants to play guitar alongside the two we just heard, Enter Sandman, when the team runs out. And his teammates are behind it. Frank Beamer not so sure yet. He gets the punt away. And this is Danny Okenda, sure-handed. Not normally a big return threat, and we don't get a big return to open the game. Cody Grimm there on the stop. So Chris Turner, some final words as he trots out. He's a junior from California, Simi Valley.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a really, really good job so far this season taking care of the football. He's only thrown one interception in his last 126 attempts. This Maryland team's kind of gone through a facelift from the beginning of the year to now. They've won 5 of their last 6, 2 in a row. The biggest reason is because of who's playing quarterback, Chris Turner.
He made some crucial throws in that game-winning drive in a pouring rain against NC State. He'll throw on first down, zips it into the seam, and has a receiver. It's Torrey Smith. 14 yards, his 9th catch of the season as we check the impact players for the Terrapins.
Well, Darrell Scott leads the ACC in rushing with about 103 yards a game. He's very physical, but we were watching him on tape, guys. Tough to tackle. He's real slippery.
Let me show you a guy you can't tackle if he gets in the open field. Darius Hayward-Bay, one of the game changers in the country.
And the tight end, Gronkowski's on the Mackey watch list, 22 catches. Keep an eye on number 13. They'll use him a lot. And there's a handoff on first down. Quickly cutting down. Scott is the Macho Man. Victor Harris, the corner.
Woo! We will say, if Virginia Tech's fortunate tonight, Macho Harris's name a lot. He makes plays on passing. He can come up and he can hit you. This is a great physical play coming up to hit Darrell Scott.
He plays some offense, too. You'll see him over there trying to catch passes.
Absolutely. On offense, Virginia Tech wants to get him about 15 snaps. They'd love to get him 5 touches in this game, both sides. It'll be key to watch Macho Harris if he can keep up how his wind is tonight playing both sides of the ball.
Turner fires left, and it's complete. Short gain, Taylor Watson, the freshman fullback, forced out. First down yardage about the 47-yard line. So a good start for Turner.
They're coming out, they're throwing the football. It's so critical when you play quarterback in the West Coast offense. You got to be really decisive, and you got to have great footwork. You got to be able to get through your progressions, and the ball's got to come out quick, and we've seen that here in the first 2 passing plays.
I think Franklin's done a great job of helping to teach Turner how to make better decisions Monday through Friday so that he plays better on game night.
Turner rolling out, has a man in the flat and finds him. It's complete to Scott, and he's across midfield. A first down at the 40-yard line. Cam Martin forced him out, and Turner's been at his best against ranked opponents. Check the touchdown-interception ratio against the ranked teams. 7-0. Not nearly as good against unranked opponents. And the Terrapins, by the way, the only team besides Texas this season to beat 3 ranked opponents at the time of kickoff.
And you know what? Turner's a good player, but I think the balance that they have out wide with wide receivers and Darrell Scott behind him really takes pressure off of him.
Flag down. This should be a free play for Turner. And he doesn't take the throw, just runs out of bounds a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Pernell Sturdivant, top tackler on the team, forces him out. It's going to be 5, I think, on the Hokies.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Previous spot. Repeat first down.
It's a really nice job by Chris Turner mixing and matching the snap count. He's mixing it up because we know this Bud Foster defense. They're aggressive. They're going to come after him. You set the tempo early in the game as a quarterback on the first drive so that these guys just can't pin their ears and come back after you. Really, really nice job by Chris Turner changing up the snap count.
Bud's had so many great defenses here at Virginia Tech. The stats not quite as good this year with the replacement of a lot of key guys, but they're still in the top 30 in all those categories. Hokies show pressure, now back off. Turner fires short. It's complete. And diving ahead for first down yardage is Smith. So Torrey Smith, only 8 catches coming in, active in the early going.
And he's a freshman, but he's got speed. And you know what we see in the country week in and week out, Jesse, are teams trying to get the ball in space for their playmakers. Look at the speed and the burst up the field.
Well, that was a chess match between Chris Turner and the Virginia Tech defense. The Virginia Tech defense showing a big blitz. Chris Turner audibles to the quick screen. Virginia Tech backs out of it and has the right defense to stop the play, but they can't make the tackle.
Nice block there, by Isaiah Williams. Turner, a 4-for-4 start in this game, 44 yards. Scott hit behind the line. Quick penetration by Cordero Thompson.
One of the things you have to keep in mind about a Bud Foster defense is this is a defense designed to stop the run first and foremost, which you see all the run stopping right here, but it's to force an offense to go long drives, a lot of plays, and make a mistake.
And you see the quickness off the line of scrimmage from Cordero Thompson. He lost 40 pounds this offseason. Could you imagine this guy weighed almost 343 last year?
We'll get into that later on, how those guys lost that weight. It wasn't any fun at all.
It usually never is.
High formation on 2nd and 13, and they just hand it to Scott. And knifes ahead for about 5. Keep a close eye. Scott comes in again nursing that shoulder injury. Got a strong whack from a helmet to the shoulder late in the game, and already he's lost his helmet and has to come out. But isn't it tough to run hard, Craig, when you're nursing a shoulder problem?
Especially early in the game, Chris. That's when it's on your mind. You're not lathered up yet. And so a back needs that 10-12 carry mark before he can stop thinking about his shoulder and just get going, rolling down the hill.
Now David Meggett, the son of David Meggett, the former New York Giant, the true freshman, number 41, he's in the game on 3rd and 10. See if they test his ability to pick up the blitz. They bring pressure, and it's batted down. Broken up. Sturdivant, the linebacker, came, and Arian Martin was there too.
Now, here's that Bud Foster defense, not going to sit back and be content. You're going to look at the number of folks that come from the inside. Red Dog blitz, he said he'll bring 8 and just force the issue. That's 2 consecutive plays now. We've seen 8-man pressures. Maryland had a screen on, so that could have gashed them, but give that defense a lot of credit for batting that ball down.
Obi Egikeze, this would about equal his career long. It's a 46-yard attempt. Missed it. So Beamer's defense gets off the hook. Friedgen's offense impressive in the opening possession, but they come up empty. And the Hokies' second possession coming up next. Four-and-a-half-minute possession for the Terrapins, their first drive, but a missed field goal, so we're still scoreless, and the Hokies will get the ball back for the second time. Coaching connections here. We said these guys have only met a couple of times, but they were on the Maryland staff in 1972. Friedgen's alma mater, and then at Murray State, Coach Frank Beamer, the head coach there. Friedgen was on that staff. Ron Zook, Mike O'Kane on that staff. This is Evans. Quick handoff, and Wojak on the stop.
You know what's funny about that picture, that photo? Those are old spot built. Isn't that what it was? The spot built shoes, coaching shoes. Yeah. And the shorts.
Shorts, yeah.
Jesse, you didn't know anything about those kind of shoes.
What happened to those days? I'd have thought my coach was crazy if I had seen him wearing that stuff.
The tight shorts they wore back then would be considered boxer briefs for you.
Ralph's wearing a different size than he. That's a great staff, though. Murray State, one of the kind of cradle of coaches that people don't know about. Picked up 4 in first down. And it's Evans again. Running left, first down, up near midfield. Darren Evans brought down by Jeremy Navarre, but a nice gain. And this was the game plan for the Hokies. Establish the run. They have to do that with gimpy quarterbacks.
And the offensive line, you're going to see Nick Marshman, 67, pull and get around the side there. Nice job and good vision. This guy's got great eyes.
It's not only important because of the injuries at quarterback, but Virginia Tech has to establish the run to set up big passing plays. Maryland comes into the game ranked second last in the ACC pass defense, giving up 228 yards a game.
We got a wrinkle here, Jesse. Look, you got Greg Boone, number 8. He's the tight end. He's played high school quarterback, and that's Macho Harris, the cornerback at a wide receiver position. Macho comes in motion. He takes it. It's a reverse. They hand it back off to Danny Cole, and all that stuff, and they lose about 4 yards. Wrinkles, double reverse, lose 4.
Yeah, you know what? But Chris Kosh, defensive coordinator at Maryland, knows that his defense has to play with their eyes tonight. Nice job of coaching and making sure that you stay at home with your responsibility.
And Glennon's going to come back in. Boone will stay in the game, you figure. Move to tight end. There's Koch there. And then red pullover. 4th year at Maryland. He's been around. He's got a good pedigree. He was once a defensive coordinator for Nick Saban at Michigan State. Had great success at Illinois, developer of linebackers in the era when they had Dana Howard and those guys.
Coached in 3 of the 6 BCS conferences at D coordinator.
Officially a 3-yard loss on that trick play. Terrapins show pressure off the edge. A flag is down as Glennon fires, and that is Macho Harris making the catch. He's got 8 catches now on the season, but they're going to, I think, take this penalty. It looks like the Terps jumped off sides. Harris will get some snaps over here. They just want to kind of help out this young receiving core. None of these wide receivers have caught a touchdown in their careers, and they only
Offside. Defense, number 48. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat, second down.
This is Foku, the linebacker, only had 3 catches between all of them in their career coming in.
But they have talent. And when you look at the roster and the position breakdowns here, the running backs, you know, they've really carried the load for this football team. But there's some talent on this football. This is not a group of guys who can't get it done. They just hadn't shown up on game day yet.
And we look for Jared Boykin, number 81, the true freshman, to kind of get involved tonight. This is Evans. Evans breaks free. Darren Evans barreling inside the 35. 17 yards.
All right, let's go with some eyes here. You run with your eyes and your feet will follow you, they say. This guy here knows how to look at his blocks and run past the arm tacklers.
He should know how to follow his blocks. He ran for 61 touchdowns as a senior at Warren Central in Indianapolis. It's the 4th highest U.S. prep total in high school history.
And that was not some little small school that Evans attended, right?
No.
That's a big league in Indianapolis. And he's pumped up tonight because his dad, his grandmother, he's got a whole bunch of him, made the drive down from Indiana to be here in Blacksburg tonight. Wants to do well in front of the family, and he's off to a good start.
And, well, this is an offense, too, that's looking for more big plays. They'd ideally like to have 5 big plays of 20-plus per game. They've been averaging around 2. They just can't get it done. So you get a guy like Evans shaking loose out there, and all of a sudden those young wide receivers out wide, they'll open up.
Evans is out of the game, and now Josh Oglesby, redshirt freshman, in at tailback. Glennon fires, short, complete. Danny Cole, he's got a first down at the 20. 10 yards, so after a 3-and-out on the opening possession, an effective drive for Virginia Tech.
I really like the play calling so far by Brian Steinspring in this game. He's got a quarterback with a bad ankle, so he's setting him up to succeed early. Quick passes, he can set up, the ball can come out quick.
It's funny, they say Cole's kind of the elder statesman of the receiving corps. Redshirt freshman.
Yeah, here we go again.
There's a wrinkle, Glennon out wide, and Boone, the normal tight end who's hardly taken any reps at quarterback since high school. Big physical runner. Picks up about 4. The crowd loves it. The crowd loves it when the wrinkles work.
Frank Beamer told us that Greg Boone's probably one of the more multiple players that they've ever recruited here. He played free safety in high school, played tight end, quarterback. He was a punter. He can throw a football 70 yards standing
up. You believe that?
That's unbelievable.
But did you see the strategy from Maryland? Backside, as soon as they see the empty set with Boone back there, they're bringing pressure from the field. So they're going to try to squeeze the pocket. They know what Boone's going to do. Kosh making a great adjustment over there.
He wants to throw the ball one of these times. He says he can chuck it that far.
Yeah, but do you know who to throw it to?
Steinspring said, we're not likely to see that. This is Evans back in the game, and they push the pile down near the 10. It should be very close to a Hokie first down.
Really impressed with Darren Evans so far as well. And Craig, we were talking about watching him on tape. He's really good at cutting. He's got a lot of toughness when he runs inside as well. He falls forward. He's able to get these chains going.
And I have to tell you that I had in my mind, watching tape breaking it down, I wondered if the offensive line, quite frankly, was as good as Evans. And we asked Steinspring that. And it's a valid question. But I think the balance of them coming together and what you're seeing here tonight, pretty impressive.
We had 4 guys coming back from last year in the offensive line. They had pretty high expectations. They thought they were going to be blocking for Brandon Orr. Again, dismissed. Kenny Lewis ruptured Achilles in the Western Kentucky game. It is first and goal for Virginia Tech. So Evans has had to fill in there, but frankly, they haven't been that pumped about the offensive line play quite yet.
And we were here doing Boston College last year, and that was a real question mark. Could they handle BC? And I thought they did. They played a nice football game. I thought Orr being here, too, that was one of those deals. They kept waiting for Brandon Orr. Remember, Chris? They kept waiting for him to break out. And where was the running game? It was gone.
Well, he's gone now himself.
Yeah.
First and goal. Evans behind the fullback, Kenny Jefferson. Nothing there. Big smacking hit by Dave Philistine, the linebacker. He's another guy who was questionable coming in, nursing a shoulder injury. Didn't show any effects right there in that tackle.
These linebackers from Maryland are so active. These guys are tackling machines. In fact, Maryland this year, 5-0 when either Alex Wojak or Dave Philistine get double-digit tackle numbers.
Which they did in their last ball game.
Yeah, they did.
This is a very active. This is really a unit that thrives off of their defensive linebackers. The linebackers bringing pressure.
Wojak stat, you see, played at Notre Dame. Second and goal. In motion, two tight ends to the right side of the formation, and this is Cole going back in motion to the left. They hand it off. Evans running right. That was the power side of the formation, but Terrell Skinner from his safety position came down there and helped Foku on the tackle. This has been an area of trouble for the Hokies. Not efficient in the red zone. Only 15 touchdowns in 33 trips.
Well, I think that's a direct correlation with the inexperience at wide receiver and running back. They're out here playing with 3 freshmen, a sophomore. You got a freshman playing running back. These guys, this is where you have to be exact. When you get down in the red zone, it's where you have to be precise because the passing windows become so much smaller.
You know, I really like the tight end. When I get down low, you see Boone right there, number 8, moving over to the left side.
Lennon fires into the end zone for Boone, touchdown. Interesting drive from Greg Boone. Took a couple of snaps and quarterback ends up catching the touchdown pass from Glennon as the Hokies strike first late in the first quarter. Justin Keys, a great story. A guy who watched 4 years of football in the stands here. Walked on this year. Finally earned a scholarship after he made the team, and a very, very efficient kicker. So the Hokies march 71 yards in 11 plays. Almost 6.5 minutes. And Boone from Glennon for the touch.
Sponsor of the Heisman Trophy.
You know, Kurt Herbstreit has said that on Thursday night, Blacksburg, Virginia, Lane Stadium, the loudest stadium in the country.
What has Herbstreit done? Now, we've seen lots of games here. Had the pleasure of being in Lane Stadium, and 33-5, a very impressive home record. It's even a higher winning percentage, I think, at night games where this place comes alive. And it's been a weird home season. They played one home game in a period of 53 days. This is really the first big home game, the first kind of Lane Stadium experience all season long. The players said they can't wait.
You can understand why.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've worn their maroon jerseys.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
White, orange, and kind of back to the traditional maroon tonight. Justin Keys, the kickoff to Torrey Smith at the goal line. So we'll take a break, and Maryland will go back to work, down 7-zip at Lane.
Can help you.
For a free consultation, call 888-576-1239 now.
The second touchdown reception for Greg Boone as the Hokies in front 7-zip in the first quarter.
Now on this replay, you're going to see motion coming from the right side of your screen. Danny Cole's going to run across, and all that's going to do is soften up the defense to allow Greg Boone to work. We used to call this a pump route. Sean Glennon does a great job just putting it up where his big man can catch it. Very, very well executed down in the red zone.
Now, Alex Wojak's a veteran. He got lost into the middle linebacker. So Turner Second possession finds his tight end, Gronkowski, and Dan stumbles forward for about a 3-yard gain.
You know why we had called him out in that situation? Boone's a junior. He's got some experience. So when you're down there, you think defensively, you better latch on to somebody that maybe Glennon feels confident throwing the ball to. We call it a toast route on our teams, but you toasted the linebacker what you did.
A pump, a toast, that's the same thing?
Yeah, you did it right there.
They went 49 yards in their first possession before the missed field goal. Got inside the 30 of Virginia Tech. And they hand it straight ahead. Short gain for Scott, sets up about a 3rd and 3.
Really important now that Maryland's able to convert this 3rd down. When you're on the road, especially in this environment where the crowd just feeds off its defense, you can see them starting to get louder now. Maryland has to be able to somehow take this crowd out of the game if they're going to have success. This is a tough place to communicate.
42% on 3rd down for the season. Pretty good for the Terrapins.
Yeah, there's Jason Worlds right there. He's a very athletic guy. When you're throwing the football, you better pass protect him.
Bud Foster showing pressure. Now they back off. They rush only 4. Turner has time, looks downfield and has a man. A catch across midfield by the busy Torrey Smith. 3 catches on the night, and he got it in front of Rashid Carmichael. 26 yards.
You know what? This is Turner doing a great job of hanging there because the guy we'd circle on the outside, Jason Worlds, he's coming your way, and he's going to be there. 3 seconds, that ball better be out of the pocket.
Tell you what, Chris Turner very easily could have thrown that short 3-yard completion on the sideline. There was a little whip route there. That was a bit of an easy ball to take, but give Turner a lot of credit for hanging in and taking the bigger profit down the field.
And taking the little bump at the end. His toughness really is something his coaches are impressed with. He's not afraid to stand in there. 6 for 7 in the early going as they go back to Scott. And stutter steps for a couple.
You know what? We talked about it in our meetings this week, and you made a point of it, really, Chris. You said the number of quarterbacks who are injured around the country.
It's incredible. Yeah, there's got to be almost 24 teams that right now are facing quarterback injuries, issues, guys that are banged up or questionable or playing with a backup already. The list is long, and it includes some of the key guys in the country. And injuries to varying degree, but concussions and ankles, I think, are the 2 most common ones that I've seen this season. And once again, a little over-eagerness on the part of that Hokies defensive line. Trying to be aggressive, but they've jumped across a few times now.
Prior to the snap, offside, 95 on the defense. Illegal contact in the neutral zone. 5 yards, 2nd down.
It's a big change in offense like Maryland. Instead of 2nd and 8, it's just 2nd and 3.
That's the 2nd time tonight Chris Turner's been able to force Virginia Tech offsides. All that's going to do is slow down this pass rush. You're seeing the experience right now from Chris Turner.
It's been all passing for Maryland in this first quarter as time expires. Only had 4 yards rushing, but a good start for Turner, and still it's Glennon to Boone. The only touchdown in the opening quarter. 7-0 Virginia Tech. Hokie fans trying to flip the phrase, fear the turtle, like the Maryland fans like to say, a little turtle shell. And they got all 3 quarterbacks. Whoever gets in the game, they're telling the Terrapin defense to fear them, whether it's Glennon or Taylor, who we're very unlikely to see tonight, except in an emergency, or Holt. But this is Turner and company. 2nd and 3, fires to the field, and it's the first catch by Darius Hayward-Bay, the leading receiver on this team, the big playmaker, the junior. Boy, when he gets the ball, gets to the sideline, you got to beware.
You know what? This all starts with a formation that you come to the line of scrimmage with. Too tight. You got everybody bunched up on the inside, and you got a linebacker that's going to have to make the run play all the way out there. A lot of people in the box, nobody outside.
James Franklin's done a great job so far mixing it up with his formations. He knows Bud Foster's going to be aggressive in this game, so he's keeping them on their heels. They have not seen the same look twice yet in this game.
And credit Torrey Smith, who has 3 catches already, with a nice block to spring Hayward-Bay. So Turner sets and fires, gets pressure, and throws it to the ground. And here comes a flag. That was just a ride to get ripped off. No flag. Nikos Brown on the pressure. And we'll check in with Aaron Andrews on the field.
Guys, we've been talking about Jarrell Scott's left sprained shoulder. This is a custom-made orthoplast splint that was done for him this week. It's pretty heavy duty. They put it up here on his shoulder underneath his pads. The biggest thing, the memory foam padding to protect that shoulder. But another issue, the pressure. It kind of serves as a channel, so when he gets hit, it doesn't hit directly on his injury. CJ and Jesse, I know you guys have both had injuries. I don't know how bad it's impacting him right now, but he seems to be frustrated every time he walks over to the sideline, guys.
Once again, a flag. This time it looks like the Hokie defensive lineman lured Maryland off-start. It'll be a false start.
5-yard penalty. Second down.
Aaron, to answer your question on that, for me at least, when in both my shoulders I had reconstructed, the pads worked, but it was more mental. When you got a shoulder, you just got to suck it up and go with it. No matter what you put out there, it still becomes mental for me.
Playing through the pain?
Yeah. Because, I mean,
and not flinching when the guy's coming up, right? You got to run hard.
It depends on what the injury is, but for the most part, you can't really protect the shoulder. It's such a loose object out there floating around. It's hard to brace it up like a knee.
Empty backfield. Now they motion Scott. He'll take the pitch. Trying to get the corner, but there's too many Hokies and no room. Jason World, the defensive end, got out there. Cam Martin helped. They lose 3.
Cam Martin does an unbelievable job here of just keeping contained. You're going to see Jarrell Scott come around to the right side, number 41. He just keeps contained, forces the play back inside. I'll tell you what, guys, Cam Martin, very, very tough. He's playing with a torn PCL.
He's the brother of Orion Martin, the defensive end. And the Scots carried the ball, guys, 6 times, net 1 yard. They have totally shut down the Maryland ground game. It's 3rd and 18. They bring pressure. Terps pick it up, and Turner fires. A catch by Hayward Bay, who slithers free. Doesn't get the first down. Driven out by Porch at the 24. Game 13. He should set up a field goal attempt.
Well, I guess I'd like to have coffee with Bud Foster in the morning to ask him why he did that, because when you put 8 in there and you rush, Jesse, you're given a chance for a big play and a play that's one-on-one.
I guess the issue is that they were going to bring 8, but 7 only came because one of those defenders was spying Gray Boone, the tight end. That's what gave Chris Turner time to throw that ball.
Ege Casey, who missed earlier from 46, had made 11 of 12 coming into this game from 41. And this one's going to hook through. So, Ege Casey gets Maryland on the board. Terps have looked good in their 2 drives, but unable to find the end zone. So Friedgen's team still down 7-3. Terps on the board. Ege Casey just knocked the field goal through, kicks it off, and drives Darrell Roberts back to the 1. Roberts has a crease. Darrell Roberts gets a block at the corner and gets into Maryland territory. Big return for the true freshman. 55 yards.
You know what? It helps that when you're a high school tailback to have the vision. Look at the speed and the vision. Jesse, these are part of the young guys that they've talked about. Eventually the light's going to come on game day.
Well, here they are. They're in their 9th game now this season. These guys aren't freshmen anymore. They got to start playing like upperclassmen. But you see why Darrell Roberts already holds Virginia Tech's freshman kickoff return record. He's got great vision, and you see the wheels.
So Glennon sets up with a 45 for Maryland, and a play-action fake. John wants to throw on first down. Now he's flushed, has to fire short, complete behind the line of scrimmage to Josh Oglesby, and he'll lose yardage as we check in with Reese Davis.
All right, Chris, Sports Center right now. Sources tell ESPN The Magazine's Tim Kirchin that the Dodgers have offered Manny Ramirez a 2-year, $45 million contract option for a 3rd year to remain in L.A. And ESPN's Chris Mortensen reporting that Jacksonville Jaguar coach Jack Del Rio will meet with Mike Peterson on Friday to determine his future with the club after the alleged insubordination. Sports Center after the game. Stay current, ESPN News.
Chris, thank you. Darren Evans is to the left of Glennon now, and they lost 5 yards on that completion. Glennon flushed again and has to duck under. The sack will be credited to Travis Ivy, number 90, was in the neighborhood. Jared Harrell had the early pressure.
Part of the strategy here at Virginia Tech tonight, look at the wider splits. This is really not the way, the larger lanes for those guys to have to run around to get to the quarterback.
And Craig, you see how that ankle is bothering Sean Glennon. He can give one quick juke, but then that's about all he's got. He doesn't got more than one good move in the pocket right now because of that bum ankle.
I guess Ivy gets credit for the sack. He kind of lumbered around there. He was there when Glennon fell down.
You just act like you get it.
He waved his hand. I get it.
Yeah, that's me.
That's for me. It's his first sack of the season. 3rd and 19. Glennon feels pressure again. And he's rocked and sacked. Moses Foku, only about a 1-yard loss. That pocket collapsed pretty rapidly.
And now look downfield in the secondary. Nobody was open. If you're a receiver here, you're going to have to tonight work hard to give Sean Glennon an opening. Jesse, they got to get back to the ball and go find him.
And I think that makes sense for Maryland in this game. Chris Koss defensively wants to show multiple looks, mix up the coverages because of the inexperience at wide receiver for Virginia Tech.
Nice looking drive. They got to the 45 on the kickoff return. They lose yardage on 3 straight plays and have to punt. Inbound, boots it deep, and wisely letting it bounce into the end zone is Okendo. So, touchback, and the Terrapins will start at the 20-yard line. And a reminder that ABC has regional football 3:30 Eastern time. Penn State off that bye week following the big win in Columbus. Darrell Clark okay. The concussion symptoms have gone away, but Iowa's got a hard-hitting defense. Sean Green the back. This is a test for Penn State.
Don't sleep on Iowa. Now, Penn State's had 2 weeks to get ready for that game. Sean Green, 3rd in the nation right now, running the football. They're going to get that green out going up there. Don't sleep on Iowa.
You know what? This is one of those games where Penn State really needs a very good, solid performance because the strength of schedule is not for them. There's some respect for Iowa on the road. They need to go in there and put the wood shit, keep them to sleep.
Style
all that stuff.
Kick
him to sleep.
Kick him to sleep.
And they hand it off to Meggett. Physical little runner. He's 5'8", about 215. He was running hard, made some big plays in that game-winning drive in the rain the last time out against NC State.
He doesn't look at all like his father, does he? He's got a much bigger build to him, and I'll tell you what, he can catch the football too. He's not just an inside runner. You can get this guy on the perimeter, like you said, Chris. He was huge in that final drive to win the game against NC State, running and catching the football.
I don't know if they win that game. Scott got knocked out. He gave a headbutt to Meggett in that final drive. The young guy, a couple of runs. He caught a little dump pass down inside the 10 to set up the game-winning field goal. And he's in there again with Scott nursing that shoulder problem tonight. Turner fires into the seam, and this is Okendo. His first catch of the night takes it to the 35.
This is in the area here where you look at the Virginia Tech defense. And, Jesse, let's look here. Let's see if the linebackers are swallowing, if they're absorbing. This linebacker unit doesn't have a lot of experience.
Well, we asked Chris Turner, what do you like so much about the West Coast offense? And he says, I love getting the football to my playmakers in space. You saw a great example of it right there.
And if those linebackers, when they're in zone, don't go match up, it's going to be open all night.
And there's a handoff to Meggett. He is hammered by Cam Chancellor. The safety came up. Nice collision. A 2-yard gain.
Cam Chancellor came here as a quarterback originally, but don't be fooled. He's big now. 6'4", 224, benches 375 pounds. And you saw that power as he comes up.
Middle of the field. So, boom. Hey, that's how you get low. Leverage wins.
You got to get low on that guy. I'll tell you what, 5'8", you better get low.
You know what? All week we heard Bud Foster say he's got some bend in him. He can bend it. Get down low, drop that booty, hit somebody.
Megan's still the tailback, and motion Jackson the fullback. And it's Turner on the draw to Meggett. Meggett gets a couple of nice blocks and barrels his forward. He's going to be short of the first down. Chancellor again on the stop.
This play really got set up by Chris Turner. He did a great job looking downfield with his eyes to freeze the linebackers to allow David Meggett more room to run on the draw.
You know what? You think that he's not looking for Chancellor here, Meggett? Watch this here. We're 17. Oh, my God, there he is.
Good down.
I remembers you.
Cam Chancellor keeps playing that aggressive. Don't be surprised to see Maryland play fake and one over top.
They need 1 yard, and Meggett is hit behind the line. Can't get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Hokies hold.
we talked to some of the players before this game on defense and said, what are you most proud about playing defense for Bud Foster? And they all unanimously told us, stopping the run. That's what this unit takes pride in, Craig.
They also love the passion of Coach Foster. He's not gentle on the ears now. He's tough, but they say that makes him feel good. They know that he cares, and they love playing for Bud Foster. So the punt. Travis Baltz, number 1 in the ACC, and that department collects the snap on the bounce and gets a boomer away. Macho Harris just lets it bounce at the 1. Travis Baltz gets a shot of adrenaline as he has to field that snap and boots it 57 yards.
And the 2009 Cadillac Escalade Hybrid.
You don't see many November days in Blacksburg, Virginia as nice as this one. Shirt sleeve weather, beautiful fall foliage. It's still 59 even at night. The Hokies said, last week you should have been here. You're practicing indoors. It's ice storms, nasty, and usually they don't mind that because the opponents have more trouble than they do. But it's nice to have beautiful weather, and bouncing it is Darren Evans. Evans to midfield. Run out at the 30. 50 yards for the freshman.
Just a moment ago, we saw how you tackle from the secondary coming up from Cam Chancellor. Watch on this one here how high they hit, Jesse. They don't get to Evans' legs. Nobody gets down to his legs.
And the wide receivers do a good job blocking downfield as well. We talked to Darren Evans and said, hey, as a group, you guys have given up only 24 yards as being your longest run.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just been, well, that just went away.
He's been so eager. They all have to break the long run. When all of your running backs together have a run 24 yards and that's it. Oh. Look, Boone's back at quarterback. You hear the boo, and they hand it to Macho Harris, and he fakes the reverse, and Macho gets the corner, gets about 8. So Steinspring showing the wrinkles. They've had mixed success with it here.
Steinspring told us they wanted to get him 5 touches in this game, and you see already early how he's staying committed to finding ways to get Macho Harris involved.
All right, now the next time he may pull up and throw the ball. You got to be creative. You got to make the defense use their eyes, which means their feet most of the time stand still.
Got to stay one step ahead of the defense.
Here's a guy who calls the plays for the Hokies, his 7th season here. Boone is still the quarterback in the shotgun formation. This looks like one of those regular old direct snap runs. Harris again comes in motion, but Boone hammers straight ahead, takes on a tackler, and has a first down. You can hear the pads pop up here.
I think these Maryland defenders are going to start second-guessing whether or not they want to try to tackle Boone high. You're talking about a 280-pound quarterback. Bam!
They better drop the fanny over there. Bend the body, fellas. Getting low.
That was Wojcik who kind of lost Boone on the touchdown reception. That time they meet in the middle at the point of attack.
Lost him at the line of scrimmage also.
Yeah, but again, Brian Steinspring, the coordinator, doing an excellent job of mixing this offensive play calling up. Defense doesn't know where it's coming from.
Evans back in the game. Glennon at quarterback on first down. Evans has it. And nothing there. Wojcik that time, an effective tackle and plenty of help.
Wojcik's just a machine. He's second in the ACC right now with 80 tackles. 15 tackles against NC State 2 weeks ago, 16 against Clemson the week before that. He's a natural.
They call him a mood changer, game changer on defense. So if you can change the mood of your defense with a big play, you got a chance of getting the offense off the field. Step it up like that. That was big.
Glennon in the slot, Boone back at quarterback. Actually, Glennon's at the bottom of the formation now. Boone has a couple of lead blockers and picks his way for about 4. Doesn't look like much, but that big body, tough to bring down.
Well, you've got your center, Ryan Schumann. He's 300 pounds. He's leading and pulling around with a guy that's 280 behind you. So you got 580, 600 coming at you.
It's a nice package so far that's been installed here by offensive coordinator Brian Steinspring. I really like watching what we've seen so far. A couple trick plays. They're getting ways to get Macho Harris involved with Greg Boone, a quarterback. And then what's wrong with a 280-pound guy rumbling with that big old line, racking up 5-6 yards a pop?
What do you do on 3rd and 5? Lennon and Evans in the backfield.
You got the splits. Evans in the backfield. He's got good vision. Get the numbers right. Draw.
Play clock winding down. And they have to call timeout. There wasn't much time on the play clock. Maryland gave a look of late pressure there, and good use of a timeout by Glennon. So, a field goal attempt or a first down? We'll find out when you come back. Third down coming up for Virginia Tech. They have a 7-3 lead here, approaching halftime. They're set up deep in Maryland territory. Needing 5 yards.
Andre Smith, number 88, a tight end up the top on the right side. Pretty good football player. Boone's not in right now, but I like the way Smith runs his routes.
Evans to the left of Lennon. Sean fires left side. It's complete. Darrell Roberts diving down to the 1-yard line. Another true freshman. Part of the future of this Hokie offense. Big catch, first and goal to the 2.
You see a lot of these young players, again, growing up before our eyes. These were guys they could not count on early in the year, but here tonight so far, Craig, these guys are making plays.
And how about plays being made by Sean Glennon? Here's a guy who's got a bum leg. He's out there. Now you see why he's playing hard tonight for his team, and he has aspirations of the next years in the NFL.
There's Boone now at tailback. Yeah. And they hand it to Boone, and he hammers in. And he's going to be short of the goal line. They said he was the most versatile guy with everything. Tailback, quarterback, tight end.
Kick the field goal if they don't get this close.
This is stuff we have not seen a lot of from the Hokies this year. They're trying to get creative, get a spark going tonight.
Well, Brian Steinspringer told us that they haven't been able to use a lot of formations because the receivers are so young. Guys aren't lining up right. But we're seeing a lot of different things tonight, and why not using Greg Boone? Like you said, Craig, earlier, he's a junior. He's going to know where to line up.
This is Evans. Diving! Touchdown! Mr. Touchdown in high school, 61 of them. As a senior, his 9th as a Hokie this year. 80-yard drive. They've had 2 3-and-outs and 2 long touchdown drives so far. There's Dustin Keys. Whistle on the conversion.
Prior to the snap, the play is under review.
Okay, so hold a second. No conversion. They're going to review the touchdown. Something caught the replay officials' eyes. Looked like Evans broke the plane, but let's take another look.
The ball just has to break the plane. From that angle, it's tough to see. Just the last second there, well, it looks as though you can kind of
see the official
football,
far side.
And you have to also know, if you can't see it, and it's not conclusive, you can't overturn it.
That's right, it's a touchdown.
So, you know, on that one shot we saw there from the side, you couldn't see the ball, so you have to make the assumption the official on the field did.
This angle may show it a little bit better. It's tough to overrule that call. I'm not completely convinced the ball broke the plane.
Well, we can't make an assumption, though. You have to clearly see it, and we'd be making an assumption.
Tell you what, if it's that fast, they're probably upholding it.
Yep.
After review, the play stands as called on the field. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown for Evans, his 9th. Evans, an interesting story. He became a father at age 17, a junior in high school. You can see that's his son, James. Tanisha Lang is his girlfriend. He had to grow up in a hurry. His dad was very disappointed, as a lot of dads would be, about the unexpected child on the way. They said, you're still going to school. We'll work this out. We'll find the money. We'll take care of the baby. But you're going up to Blacksburg. You're going to school no matter what. And now the baby and his girlfriend Tanisha have been able to move up and be around him, which makes Darren a lot happier these days. 14-3 Hokies.
Defensive stop, but the Horned Frogs lead at 10-3 in the second quarter.
It's a big game. There's 2 heavyweights in the Mountain West. The Utes rocking the All Blacks tonight. And you see a sack. And it was Hayward Bay coming around carrying the football, and Cody Grimm tracked him down, so the reverse doesn't work.
And Grimm did this in the last ball game that they played. Virginia Tech is fortunate to have guys who are smart. Off the corner, you're going to see Grimm, 26, left side, sees it with his eyes.
It's a nice job breaking that down. Darius Hayward-Bay leads all receivers in the Football Bowl subdivision in rushing yards. He had 202 heading into this game. You know James Franklin wants to try to find a way to get him the ball running it.
Absolutely. Somewhere, get him touches any way on the football field.
Turner on 2nd and 20, fires downfield. Okendo can't get there. Terrible start to the drive, losing 10 yards in the running play. That's almost a drive killer right there.
It's the risk you take as a play caller. If you want to get into trickeration and get into long, extensive plays that take a long time to develop, you set yourself up really to a tough time to convert these third downs.
This isn't Bud Foster's first dance or rodeo, right? So you know his defense is out here recognizing with their eyes the reverses and the screens. They're going to be looking for plays to get the open space for Hayward-Bay.
Low snap on 3rd and 20. Turner fires downfield, almost intercepted. It was off the hand of a receiver. Hayward-Bay was in the area, and so was Brett Warren. Okendo, I think, got a hand on it.
You know what? This is the lack of consistency with this Maryland offense. They've only had 13 snaps compared to 20 for Virginia Tech. There's no rhythm there. 9 people drop into coverage. It's a really tough hole to find.
It was Okendo and Brett Warren who had a pick 6 against Boston College. Couldn't quite hold on. So, on the punt, here's Harris. Macho. Darts out of bounds at the 45, and the Hokies, with 2:39 to work with, try to build on this lead before halftime. 49 in the punt. He took it back 24 yards. Saturday night, right back to the crazy West Texas town of Lubbock as the Pokes come calling against the Red Raiders.
Hey, Fowler, it's crazy, and you jumped right in amongst them, brother. I hear you enjoyed yourself out there.
Biggest win in school history. They took down the Longhorns on that catch with a second to go. And I want to tell you, it was a wild scene on Old University Avenue there.
I'm glad you enjoyed a little West Texas flavor.
I did. There was a flag, by the way, a holding penalty on the Hokies. The late call, we didn't see that, but it backs up possession and may change the tone of this possession now. Instead of having it at the 45 of the turn. That's the catch by Crabtree. Brown couldn't hold him. It became very obvious right there. The championship chase was shaken up. And I got a little carried away. I don't care who wins the game. It's just exciting.
I understand. But you know what? The fact that you get out there and you're in it and you're right there, and the still photo of it that was being sent around to all of us on Sunday was outstanding. I mean, you see our partner.
Just the passion. But it was a combination. It was,
It's one of those plays, though, you watch these plays sometimes, and they almost unfold in slow motion like it's a movie. Like they got the slow motion catch. The ball took forever to get to Crabtree. He catches it, dances in the end zone, 1 second to go. Number 1 goes down. It was like a script.
And you were there in the movie.
Evans barrels to the 45. He'll be just short of a first down. The clock goes inside of 2 minutes.
2 timeouts to go here. Now, this is interesting. Virginia Tech, I know they're going to try to get points on the board here. They've shown so many different formations, Jesse. They've been the aggressor for sure.
And they've owned this line of scrimmage. 127 yards rushing already in the first half.
And Maryland sitting there with 4 rushing yards. On 3rd and short, Evans has the first down in midfield. So the clock running, and now they'll stop it with 1:32 to move the chains. And Evans limping off. Check with Reese quickly.
All right, Chris, coming up on the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report, the latest on the TCU-Utah game and blackout conditions in Salt Lake City. Another week, another great game in the Big 12. And we'll also have Lubbock Hello, which is not to be confused with Lubbock Oh! Never lose the passion, Fowler. Dr. Lou and Mayday will join me. We'll see you in a bit.
There's no chance of that, Reese. I promise you. I was not the loudest one there. I promise you. Your wife Marilyn must have screamed her head off. I mean,
well, I tell you what's
son,
funny.
if you don't know, his son Adam plays for the Red Raiders, and he had a catch in the ball game. That's a thrill. And I know I wasn't as loud as Marilyn was.
You know, Marilyn, from what I understand, my wife was out there and she was hollering at the team when they ran on the field the second time. She says, "You idiots, get off the field."
Was that the language?
No, it wasn't. It was a little stronger.
They took the field 3 times. They finally got to stay the 3rd time. It was a fun atmosphere. Awesome. But now, and we'll talk about this game in the second half. I'm sure the guys at halftime will try to break it down too, because the Cowboys are a dangerous dog. I know they haven't won in Lubbock since World War II, but dangerous offense and a challenge, I think, for the Red Raiders mentally. Yeah, they're physical.
I mean, they're going to bring their A game to Lubbock. Can Tech's defense get up for a very physical matchup?
ABC primetime game on Saturday. Brent, Kirk, and Lisa will be there. First down, and Dustin Pickle is in the ball game. He's out on the flat, but Glennon fires over the middle and over the hands of Boykin. Keep an eye on Darren Evans. Again, so many injury problems on this Hokie offense and at that position. With Kenny Lewis out with a ruptured Achilles. Again, Brandon Orr already dismissed from the team. And we saw Evans limping off a second ago. This is his first career 100-yard game. Done on only 13 carries in the first half. Well, they need him in there in the second half. Terps rush 5. Lennon rolls out and finds Pickle. And Dustin Pickle brought down to the 40, a first down. The seldom used tailback gets 11. Here's a look at what caused the injury to Evans. I'll show it to you. Keep an eye on number 32 here. Used to be like an ankle or a foot.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Glennon, a first down throw. And it's over the head. Boone was well covered. He wanted a flag. There were 3 Terrapin defenders in the area, but no flag thrown.
Ball wasn't catchable.
No, it wasn't. But you notice one thing right now. This Maryland defense is not getting in the pocket. They're not rushing a gimpy-legged Sean Glennon. And so he's gaining a lot more composure, Jesse. You know how all of a sudden he's seeing that secondary better.
Well, you just, as a quarterback, I think you start getting into the rhythm of a game and you start seeing the defense snap in, snap out. You understand what they're doing coverage-wise. You get a comfort factor. You got to wiggle his rifle barrel. You cannot let him sit back there and pick you apart.
Terps have just 1 sack in the first half. Lennon on second down. He's chased now and dropped for the second time. The ball comes loose. No fumble. They rule him down. Moses Foku records his 5th sack. He's the sack leader in this Maryland team.
I think everybody just held their breath when you saw the way Sean Glennon went down there. Kind of got wrapped up on the ankles, brought to the ground. Looked like he's a little bit gingerly getting up off the ground.
Yeah, and you know, we know that he has very limited mobility.
He's not the speediest guy when he's healthy, but he's obviously hampered. And Foku, the senior, known for his speedy ability to rush the passer, gets there, and they burn their final timeout now with 44 seconds. It's going to be 3rd and 13.
Yeah, you know what? The coaching staff said that on Tuesday during the workout, it was the first workout for Sean Glennon, and he really performed well. Said he was outstanding, strong. The first couple of practices of this week, it was all Holt taking the reps, so that earned him the ability to come out here and the confidence of the staff and the team.
Evans has been the story of this first half. Again, finally had a breakout run, had a 50-yard run here in this first half that put him over 100 yards. And he scored a touchdown earlier and dedicated it to his 2-year-old son.
Say something, people. Say something. All about James, baby. All about James.
And the funny thing is, James,
he's still
sleeping right there.
Yeah.
Wake him up, tell him his dad just scored a touchdown on national TV. I guess when he's focused.
He's focused.
They need 13. 5 on the play clock for Glennon. And he's got to hurry. And I think there might have been a
The land game, offense, number 7.
Well, he doesn't.
5-yard penalty.
I don't think he realized the play clock was running down. There was clearly some miscommunication. Beamer saying, "What's going on?"
You see the field judge now running out onto the field. I think the referees needed to reset that play clock. When they put the ball in play, the clock was already down to 7 seconds.
I think when you call it timeout, you're supposed to still have the full complement, right, once they place it.
Yeah.
Well, wow. How about an explanation?
We don't get one, but clearly Glennon was confused. It cost them 5 more. Now it's 3rd and 18.
Hello.
And now Ralph Friedgen will take a timeout.
Timeout. Maryland. First.
Frank Beamer still wants a audience with the officials to have an explanation there.
Well, that surprised me. Here all of a sudden the ball's put down in play. Everyone's standing up, standing around. Play clock's down to 7 seconds. I'm surprised none of the players on the field goal knew that and started giving that signal to the referees to reset it.
You know, hey, Aaron, is the Maryland bench, are they motivated? I mean, what's happening over there?
Well, right now I was trying to grab an official and see what was going on, but the guys that are on the bench right now, they're basically just sitting down. It doesn't look like, you know, there's 45 seconds left in the half and they want to try to do something here. You got to think that the Fridge will have a few words for them at half. We'll ask them.
Aaron, and the team has hung in there. I mean, they're used to playing close games. They're used to being in things in the 3rd and 4th quarter. And I think that, you know, Friedgen won't believe you getting the ball to start the second half. If they can hold him here, they do need 18 yards. They're still very much in it. Pump fake. Glennon fires downfield. Has a man. Banging down to the 21-yard line is Boone. What a first half for the tight end. Skinner on the stop. Tight end / quarterback. Have to hurry up here. And they'll use it down to spike the ball. 28-yard gain for Boone.
You know what'd you call it? I called it toast. What'd you call it?
Pump route.
You call it the pump route. Here he is on the left side. You're going to watch him now. He's going to do it again. Left side, tight end. Little move to the outside with his head.
It's a great play call by Brian Steinspring offensively. As a defense, you're thinking 3rd and 18. Just keep everything in front of you. Keep Virginia Tech out of field goal range no matter what you do. What does Sean Glennon get done? First down, and now here they are with a chance to get more points heading in at the half.
Evans out of the ballgame. Dustin Pickle is set to the right of Glennon. Sean fires left. Short completion to Danny Cole. Clock still running. 21 seconds.
Questionable.
He got only 4 yards. Now it's 3rd down, and they'll have to spike it and kick a field goal. Glennon upset. He wanted Cole to get out of bounds, and I believe he thought they should have given it to him.
Frank Beamer sending out the field goal unit right away.
They use the spike on 2nd down, and right here. Didn't get out of bounds. I thought maybe they could have given it to him. Anthony Wiseman was there with the hit. So here comes Keys. He's 12 for 12 inside 40 yards. Finally getting a chance in his senior year to kick. He watched these games in the stands for 4 years, practiced 2 days a week, finally dressed for the Orange Bowl last season. Given a scholarship, and why not? He is an excellent, reliable, short-range kicker and connects from 35 with 9 seconds to play in the first half. And Beamer still wants an explanation as to why they didn't get the clock stopped on that pass play.
I don't blame him.
I don't blame him at all. But I tell you what he is got to be happy about is the fact that Sean Glennon's throwing the football 8 of 11. Pretty efficient.
And how about the last 3 drives for Virginia Tech as a team? They march the football down, score a touchdown, defense goes on the field, they get a 3 and out, get the ball right back, and then get a great 2-minute drill right here to get more points on the board before going at halftime.
Very satisfying for Glennon. He was kind of unsure when he talked to us yesterday if he was really going to be able to go. It literally was a game time decision. He's got a heavy wrap on that left ankle, but He's making the most of his showcase team tonight because he doesn't know if he's going to have his job. A week from tonight, if Taylor's healthy, Tyrod's going to play at Miami.
It just means so much to Sean Glennon this game and this opportunity. And I, you know what, Jesse, I admired last night late in the hotel. You had a chance. We sat on the couch and visited with him, and you shared with him your experiences.
Yeah, you know, when I was a senior at Florida, I'd gotten injured and I'd lost my job because we had Rex Grossman as a freshman who was a great young player, and there were times I'd got the job back, got a high ankle sprain myself. It's really difficult in your senior year to get up each and every week because you're not sure if you're going to play. You think your career's over. You don't know if you're going to play at the next level yet, and we just shared with him, you and I both.
What'd you tell him, though? Ultimately, what'd you tell him?
Just keep grinding it. Keep grinding. Stay the course. Things are going to work out. Sean Glennon's done that here tonight.
This is Keys. A squib kick hits a Terrapin player. It's taken back to the 44-yard line by Gronkowski, the tight end. So 5 seconds to go in the first half. Here's why Frank Beamer was upset with the officials.
Well, this goes back to the delay of game. And the umpire comes up over the football, which prohibited. I mean, he's standing over the ball. But he did throw his flag.
It was not letting the center and the lineman get down and snap it.
That was the play that moved him back 5 yards, and then he was also upset that they didn't give his receiver the out of bounds after the catch. So 5 seconds to go. Here comes the final play of the first half, and Turner flips it over the middle. Smith with another catch, but that'll be it. Terrapins will get the football to start the third quarter, but they'll be in a 14-point hole as Glennon and the running of Darren Evans, who has 116 but has not been in the ballgame at the end of the half. The offensive story of the first half for Virginia Tech. Let's get out of the field. Aaron has Frank Beamer.
Well, Coach, we ran back the replay and saw the official standing over the ball after the delay of game. I mean, what kind of explanation were you given?
He said he moved back off the ball. I don't know.
We've seen a creative offensive package from you guys tonight, and obviously we know about Sean Glennon and his ankle. How would you evaluate him so far in the first half?
I think he's done well. He's on some good balls, and gotta keep this thing going in the second half, though.
All right, Frank, thanks. Chris?
Aaron, thanks. Glennon, 8 of 11, but just 67 yards. But the Hokies up 17-3 as we join Reese, Lou, and Mark for the Pontiac Performance halftime report.
I thought the Virginia Tech offensive line allowed their team to really excel throughout this game. And
Darren Evans finally having a breakout game on the ground. Already over 100 yards individually. They've rushed for, let's see, 129. No turnovers for either team. And Maryland struggling there. Just 1 for 5 on third down. They'll get the ball. And there's some urgency here to get something out of this opening possession in the third quarter. Meyer boots it, and it's a short kick. And a return across the 25-yard line by the freshman Kenny Tate. We got our Home Depot coaching adjustments, Craig.
All right, well, Jesse, let's take this approach here. Let's figure out what do you do to get Maryland in the game. You got to put more pressure on the pocket and the running game. You've got to you've got to make Sean Glennon move and cover down the field.
I think more Maryland defenders have to get close to the line of scrimmage to be better against the run and the pass. Again, Virginia Tech 129 yards rushing in that first half. They have to continue to find ways to confuse this Maryland offensive line, get sacks.
Turner 10 of 14 in the first half, and Scott is back in the I formation to start this third quarter, and they fake it to him. Turner, pressure, hit, sack, loses the football. Hokies have it. Cordero Thompson on the recovery, and a disastrous start for the second half for Maryland. Orion Martin got there to force the fumble.
The former walk-on, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Sackman for this football team comes out. Left side, here he is. Clear room, got to move his feet.
Orion Martin talked about his escape rush being his best pass rush move. You see it right here. He clubs the tackle's arm down, grabs his jersey, and basically whiplashes himself past him to get the sack and the huge turnover to start the second half.
And now Evans bumped, and he'll lose yardage. You mentioned Martin. He's a great story. His brother Cam was here. He kind of spent some time at Norfolk State. He kind of walked up. They didn't know his name, didn't have a position for him. He kind of bulked up to become a defensive end. He's become a guy for Bud Foster that the scouts are now interested in, and just got engaged. What, Red Lobster? Get down on one knee at Red Lobster in September after a game?
Hey, you're in college, man. You're in college. You can't find all these gourmet restaurants around here. You gotta do it where you do it.
As soon as I heard that, you think EA would take the proposal at Red Lobster?
Oh, she better. Come on. She said yes.
Would she? Yeah.
I'm going to say no because it's...
No, I like Red Lobster. I'm about to dig into it.
Evans, nothing doing here. They're trying to cash this turnover in and build on the lead to 2 runs, and they're going to face a third long.
Maryland's defense in the second half in terms of ACC play this year has been so stout. They're only giving up 133 yards a game in the second half in ACC play. Well, they better get stiff right here.
You know what? Well, you're Frank Beamer, and you're sitting here thinking, look, I got a lead 17-3. I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm going to get a chance here to take some points and put them on the board after a turnover. Play the game that he has here. His defense is dominating Maryland, so now he gets into game management.
Yeah, but if they get a touchdown here, it's
knockout punch.
It could be a potential kill shot. 3rd and 11. Lennon looks left, fires middle. It's complete. A short gain. Josh Oglesby will not have a first down. Dave Philistine right there on the tackle, and here comes a field goal attempt.
Mark at the 14-yard line.
So the Terp defense does a good job. The sure tackling of Philistine. Here comes Dustin Keys again.
This will be
for a 17-point lead. 30 yards. Knocks it through. So Maryland right back to work, but the hole gets a little bit deeper in Lane Stadium.
Fear the turtle.
ESPN's college football primetime presented by Applebee's. Early third quarter. Hokies cash the turnover into a field goal. The color of the fans here, maroon and orange, kind of matches the colors of the leaves around here this time of year. Beautiful time in the mountains of Virginia. This is the first real big home game for the Hokies in 2008. So far, vintage Virginia Tech on Thursday night.
We walked the campus yesterday. This is a fantastic, beautiful architecture. The
Isn't
leaves,
it? Yeah.
It's a great place.
An amazing cafeteria also.
We had no money, no wallet.
Yeah, probably the best cafeteria we've seen on a campus yet. We don't have any money.
Knowing you guys, you tried to sleaze some free food.
We tried, thought about it.
Smith trying to get free. And he'll be tackled at the 29-yard line by the kicker, Justin Meyer. So here comes Chris Turner, who does have a nickname for you movie buffs, the Napoleon Dynamite. He's cut that hair since, hasn't he?
That's
cut
natural,
a little shorter.
No curling irons required.
His counterpart tonight, Sean Lennon, the other day for Halloween, when his Napoleon Dynamite.
Do the chickens have large talons?
He was not doing it. He was not doing it to goof on Chris Turner. Just purely a coincidence, right?
Well, yeah, you
purely.
Idiot.
Maybe. Darrell Scott is the tailback. Terrapins need a positive drive here, but right away Turner's pressured again and has to dump it short. He's not the quickest guy, and Cordero Thompson had the quick pressure. John Graves was also chasing.
This is a doable situation here for Maryland. They've just got to maintain their composure here. Gronkowski, they're great tight end. No catches in this football game. Get conservative. Do something that moves the chains.
So James Franklin right now, you're thinking of ways creatively now. Get my playmakers the football. This is not panic mode, down 17 points with a lot of time left in the third quarter. But you got to get your playmakers involved.
There's one of the playmakers, Darius Hayward-Bay. He's been pretty quiet tonight. They try to use him on reverses and downfield throws, but just 2 short catches. And Turner's dropped again. Jason Worlds. They say he's got an NFL future. He's changed his number this year from 43 to 6. He's changed his last name.
He's all world. Watch the speed of this. This is what I like. And he plays with leverage, but he's got great vision and explosion.
He's got great balance also. He can bend his body when he comes around the edge. Bud Foster said they think he has a chance to be one of the great ends here at Virginia Tech. Right there, racking up his 4th sack on the season.
It used to be Jason Ajapong. Worlds is his mom's name, so he feels like he got kind of a fresh start to his life and his career with all these changes, and he's got a big future in football. Here comes the heat again. They dump it off short to Scott. Scott gets across the 35. doesn't get first down yardage. So the first 3 plays of this half of the Hokie defense, 2 sacks in a hurry, and here comes another punt for Friedgen.
You know what? Earlier today, I was going to do a Sports Center hit, and they were going to ask me who's the team's going to win the ACC. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I might say Maryland. What the heck? I'm thinking, thank goodness we didn't have that question, because you don't know in the ACC. Here's a Virginia Tech team. Looks like they've showed up tonight.
It's the only conference that has 11 schools 500 or better. How about that parity?
Holtz gets the punt away. Maryland never gets punts blocked, so they're able to neutralize Beamer ball. And Macho Harris, that's a negative return. Excellent downfield tackle by Terrell Skinner. Well, just when you thought the old chase for the Sprint Cup might be over, Jimmy Johnson going for a three-peat. Not so fast. Carl Edwards still alive, and Phoenix is the next stop. Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC in high def.
Yeah, Johnson's finished twice, now 15th at Phoenix. His worst performance at the track. Maybe not his home turf.
You thought it was over. This race, it's still 106 points. It's still looking good for the number 48 car. Three-peat is serious. With the parity and the balance in NASCAR right now, tremendous achievement for Jimmy Johnson and his crew if they can seal the deal. Hokies now backed up, and they'll just hand it to Evans on first down. They'll stiff arm Darren Evans into the secondary and tight roping down the sidelines. He's waited all season to bust a long one. He's had 2 of them now, and James still sleeping there. He's sleeping through his dad's big night.
Watch 70. Big Sergio Rinder. Pull around. Nice stiff arm. Well, I tell you what, this Evans has a bright future. The big runs, they couldn't get over 24 yards. He's blown through that tonight.
Sergio Rinder, one of the more experienced players on this Virginia Tech offense. 34 career starts to his benefit. You see right there the balance of Darren Evans tightrope in the sidelines.
Now that one was 45. He had a 50-yarder in the first half. He's got it again, and this is about 2 tough yards. Wojak collision right there, but 160 yards on just 16 carries.
We talked to Brian Steinspring, the offensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, coming into this game and said, hey, how handcuffed have you been this year with a lot of inexperience on offense? And he says, game planning every week, we haven't been able to do what we'd like to do. It's what are we capable of doing week in, week out? Well, hey, they've been capable of doing a lot of things. One thing for sure, run the football. Keep it going. If Maryland can't stop you, keep grinding it.
And then grinded to Evans again. He fights for about 3. Wojak again on the stop. He's just a tackle machine. 5 straight games led the team in tackles. He's had a couple of big collisions tonight with Mr. Boone.
But they've all been 4 or 5 yards down the field, right?
Yeah.
You know what? This is a result of an offensive line that's just in better shape. One of the guys, Sergio Rindo, we're talking about Rinder. He lost a lot of weight. Guy that can squat 710 pounds plus. I mean, these are big, strong, talented guys.
Look, the coaches, both guards in the center lost weight this offseason running at 6 a.m. doing the stadiums.
Squat 710. Is that for real?
That's nuts.
Is that legal?
Oglesby in the game. 3rd and 6. Lennon has time. Oh, bad throw. Boone was running, and he was ahead of his man there. Glennon just missed him. And the drive stalls at the 39.
But you notice that again. Where's the pressure from Maryland right now? Sean Glennon has all day back in that pocket. We saw early on in the game Maryland doing a better job. They had sacked him twice. In the last quarter and a half, really, where's the pressure been?
Well, Brooke Bowden will try to pin the Terps deep. Okendo standing at his 10-yard line. Big run by Evans. Nothing materializes, and Maryland still down 17. And there's a good job fielding the punt. They down it at the 2. Chris Hill got down there to deflect it from going into the end zone. Bowden does his job, and the job getting more and more difficult for Turner and the Terrapins.
Sponsor of college football and the 75th All-State Sugar Bowl. Are you in good hands?
Intramural action there. Strong tackling. That'll be our crew at Thanksgiving in Austin, right?
Yep. Coming up.
You get a quarterback against Well, Jesse, Craig,
you guys wouldn't let us play with a full allotment last year. Y'all beat me.
Turner from his end zone fires to the field. It's a short gain for Hayward Bay, and good coverage by Stephen Virgil.
You got to be impressed with the defensive unit tonight of Bud Foster. He told us that he's been getting on his guys the last 3 weeks. They showed up today.
There's a late flag on the far side of the field near where the tackle was made. Hayward Bay, the guy they count on in big plays, has been contained tonight.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 22 on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty. First down.
That's the junior Virgil. Bud Foster not thrilled with the call, and probably not thrilled with his corner. He celebrated a little bit after making the tackle. I don't know if that was worth 15.
Yeah.
Well, the referees told us all offseason they were going to cut down on taunting.
Yeah, you know what? Throw the flag.
Yeah.
And I guess he taunted him.
He did.
Yeah.
He personalized it. Don't eyeball somebody.
Just don't look at him. You'll be fine.
He gives Terrapins a first down and some breathing room at the 22. And they give it to Scott. Nice little move in the backfield. He had to dodge the tackling attempt there of Nikos Brown. He picks up about 5.
Well, in the second half here, this has been a game, really. Virginia Tech's defense, they've come out against a Maryland offensive line that allowed 3 sacks in the last 5 games. You couldn't get to them. Only 11 all year. So they've really done an outstanding job up front, Jesse, of just getting after that O-line.
After losing to Boston College and Florida State in consecutive weeks, this defensive unit is playing inspired football tonight.
Turner, a little bootleg, short completion. Scott bumped out near the first down marker. The Macho Man was in the neighborhood. Let's see where they put that football down. It'll be near the yellow line. It'll be a first down. Maryland's methodical. They're not really going to count on a lot of big plays tonight. They need one, but there's some urgency on this possession down 17, the way things have been going for this offense so far tonight. And here's a first down throw. Turner pressured a bit, steps aside, throws downfield for Hayward Bay. It was over the outside shoulder as Harris was working one of the coverage. Aaron, what do you have?
Chris, you mentioned the urgency on this series right here. Coming out of the half, I asked head coach Ralph Friedgen about what the message was, and he said it was all about showing some character. He said 31 seniors on this team. We've come back before. Let's get it going now. Honestly, when they got together in a huddle before they took the field for this drive right here, this was the most life I've seen out of this offense the entire game, Chris.
Yeah, it's not a real emotional team, Aaron. They're a veteran poised bunch, but you're right. They need a spark right now, and this is Scott trying to give them one. He'll get about 6 on the second down catch. Cody Grimm on the stop. But yeah, it's a team that had a team meeting after they were destroyed by Virginia. The most lopsided ACC game all season long. They got waxed 31-0. Players only meeting. The next week, they go out and shut out Wake Forest, and they've held them since the meeting. Yeah.
Held them to less than 100 yards rushing, which was Wake Forest forte. I mean, this is a team. And, we'll get into a little bit also Ralph Friedgen. He's changed his role and responsibilities with this football team, and I think it's been for the good.
Jesse said James Franklin calling the plays. You saw Franklin, which he got down up on 3rd and 5. Well, it's a screen. The pass is behind Hayward Bay, but he takes off, and they won't catch him. Touchdown, Terps. There's the big play they needed. 63 yards from the playmaker.
This is an offense that was frustrated because 15 of their 22 touchdown drives this year had been for 5 plays or less than 2 minutes. So they're used to the big strike, and they have not had a chance to do that, and they finally find Hayward Bay where he can make it happen.
To prove to you the speed that Hayward Bay has, he has to reach back behind him to catch that ball. And right away when I saw that, I thought, oh, they're going to tackle him at the sticks. No. Too much speed. You see why people think he's going to play on Sundays.
It's a 98-yard touchdown drive for Maryland when they desperately needed it. And Casey knocks the conversion through. They're still down 10. There's a flag, by the way. It's offside on the Hokies, so that'll be declined.
Point is good.
And so it is a 20-10 ball game. Hokies will get the ball back. The game a little bit tighter now. And when we come back, we'll visit with the coach of the Red Raiders, Mike Leach, as Texas Tech hosts Oklahoma State Saturday. Texas Tech jumping up to number 2 in the BCS. And they'll host once beaten Oklahoma State. The showdown we've talked about tonight. Mike Leach will join us on the phone in a second here. This game has tightened up a bit. There he is, Hayward Bay from that little bubble screen. Takes it the distance. Well, Scott Turner, they were having a whole lot of trouble blocking the pass rush of Virginia Tech after halftime. And the deep kickoff taken by Darrell Roberts, and the freshman showing his speed again, knifing out near the 35-yard line, and that's where Glennon will take over as flags fly at the end of that return. A couple of flags on the field. This will be apparently the 7th penalty tonight on the Hokies.
2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back. 23. Illegal block in the back. 44. We're going to take it from this spot. 10 yards. First down.
He signaled both ways at dueling blocks in the back, including the coverage team.
First for me.
I don't know what. They'll just take one of them. Mike Leach says, join us from Lubbock, Texas on the phone. Mike, great job against Texas, but for your guys, a little bit of uncharted waters. How have you seen them respond to the big win and get right back to work for Oklahoma State?
We've been excited in practice this week, and I think our team has bounced around really well. And I think one thing, if you go downtown, you see a bunch of our guys, not just like 1 or 2. And so I think they're really excited to be around each other, and so it's made the preparation go well.
You see Glennon throwing the long pass. It's caught by Danny Cole as he's run out of bounds.
Mike, watching the game the other night, the intensity of your defense, I think it caught America by surprise. What'd you say to those guys on Sunday?
Well, the biggest thing, we've been having second halves that were really good defensively, and then our biggest thing was let's make the first half, let's make both halves like we have the second half. And, they went out there and they started real fast. I mean, it was, I guess, the first to get the safety on the first play, that was huge. But then, the drives after that, we were able to take a half away from Texas, who I think is a really good offensive football team.
Another first down throw for Glennon. He fires, almost intercepted. He missed Danny Cole, and chance at the pick for Jamie McCullough. Couldn't get it. Jamari McCullough.
Coach, Graham Harrell over his career has put up video game-like numbers. Has Graham Harrell done anything differently this year? And what's been the most impressive thing to you about the way he's played all season?
Well, I think the way he's polished his game, overall. And then I think a whole lot of not just Graham Harrell, but other quarterbacks in the conference, and the productive offenses in the Big 12. I think what happens is these teams are all benefactors of the leadership of an established quarterback as they condition in the offseason, as they go out there and play, as they go to camp, as they go to spring ball and all that. So I think it helps polish the whole offensive effort. But Graham's got a confidence and a calmness about him that I think really stimulates the best in the people around him.
Yeah, Mike, I was joking with Craig. Some of the folks before that Texas game went in and watched kind of your casual Thursday practice, and there were some linemen there with no shirts kind of going through things, and kind of got the idea the practices were laid back. Craig James set me straight. He says your practices are absolutely brutal out there. You're very, very tough on the guys when we're not around.
Well, we'll let them take their shirt off, have a good time. I mean, the biggest thing is no matter what, you have to go hard. I mean, we're all right with all the little stuff as long as you play hard. And our biggest thing is you really got to play hard, and anybody's capable of great effort. And so you got guys like Brandon Carter, who's one of the most passionate football players ever, who's got a couple body piercings, tattoos, and mohawks going, but he really plays hard. So with that's satisfactory, but. We don't want anybody to get soft out there. And I think that's gotten contagious, and, it's fun. I mean, those guys will look over their shoulder and tell the guy next to them, if they thought he was soft. And, and they've got a few little words that they say to point it out that that some I could share with you, and some might be best not to. But they let the guy know how he's doing next to him, and it's just this good give and take. The guy next to me is doing his job. Oh, what, you're limping? How can you limp? I mean, it's not possible for you to be hurt. Well, there's something wrong, and so it goes. But great chemistry, and excited. It's exciting to go to practice out there. And as a head coach, I'm always excited to go to practice because it gets me out of the office, and I don't have to answer the phone and do all kinds of suit type of stuff. But the players get excited just to go out there and tee it up every day.
Hey, Mike, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Red Raiders and Oklahoma State. Primetime on ABC, and you saw the partially blocked punt as the Terrapins turned Beamer ball on Frank himself. Torrey Smith, the receiver, got in there and smothered Bowden.
This has been a bad year for Beamer ball. They have really been the team that has not performed and has been outperformed by the opponent's special teams. Frank Beamer's made a special point lately of getting better players on the field. What's the excuse there? It's just not matching up numbers on the line.
The punt covered 15 yards, and it sets up the Terrapins in good field position. And here's Scott on the dump-off. Darrell Scott down the sidelines inside the 35 before Porch got him, and a sudden momentum shift in this game.
James Franklin has made great use of the screen pass here tonight. A couple times he's teed it up right at the perfect moment. He does right here, taking advantage of an aggressive pass rush by the front four of Virginia Tech and getting Darrell Scott out on the perimeter in space.
One thing Virginia Tech's done defensively this season is allowed 2 or 3 big plays against them each game that have really hurt them. The Hayward Bay just a while ago that went for the long touchdown, and they have another mental lapse there in containment.
Scott's got it. Cuts it back for about 1 as we check in with Aaron Anders. Very different feel on the sidelines right now, Aaron.
Totally different feel, Chris. As you guys were talking to Mike Leach, this crowd got very, very quiet. And, of course, when Maryland's offense came over after scoring that touchdown, they were in a completely different mood. The defense fed off of that, did well. And now the offense, actually this entire Terps sideline, just finally they have the life that they had been missing this entire game. Actually, a few people have said that as I've walked up and down the sidelines.
This starts to remind me a little bit of the Clemson game. They were on the road at Clemson. They were behind, and all of a sudden Hayward Bay took a reverse to the end zone, and the Terrapins awakened and came back and won that game. Boy, jumping the route is Cam Chancellor. He breaks up the pass intended for Gronkowski. It'll be 3rd down.
You know what? And the focus of Bud Foster's defense has to be there. Look at Turner. Looks left, right? Trying to look him off. Jesse, it didn't work, and he threw it back, hoping they'd be gone.
But Cam Chancellor, again, former quarterback, came to Virginia Tech as a quarterback, so he's got that quarterback mentality watching Chris Turner back there in the secondary.
This is very marginal field goal range for Egekeza. This would be a career long if they try one. It'll be more than 50 yards unless they can pick up something here on 3rd and 9. Hokies bring pressure. Off the edge, Turner hit and dropped. Cody Grimm got him. Blindside sack, and now they'll have to punt.
This is great timing of the blitz. The safety at the top of the field. You won't see him here at the left. Top left, he walks over, which opens up the blitz off the corner. Great job on disguising late.
When you're a quarterback, when you know you got 8-man pressures, the sense of urgency and the clock in your head has to go off faster.
Now Cody Grimm, the son of Russ Grimm, the former Redskin lineman, real hard worker, overachiever. He had a couple of sacks in that game against Florida State. On the punt, did it touch a Hokie? No. Now they reverse the signal. The official signal Virginia Tech ball. Now they point Maryland football. Well, Chancellor was down there. He's played such a heady game. Maybe the man that touched it, Tony Logan, recovered it for Maryland.
He's one of the players that was added to the special teams to help bring them up to par. Chancellor, smart guy, just did not know where the ball was.
This is the farthest thing away from Beamer ball and what we're used to seeing. They get a punt blocked, and now they get a muff punt way down in their own end, and this momentum now all on Maryland's side.
Yeah, it's a nightmare for this man who's made his reputation coaching excellent special teams. Scott, short game. This has just not been vintage Virginia Tech, and I think the lack of depth, the fact that they can't use a lot of the veteran players on special teams. They tried some younger guys. It wasn't working. You've given up 3 punt returns for touchdowns this year, and now the miscue on the coverage.
Well, here's the issue. Now the defense starting to huff and puff a little bit. They've just been out on the field for a series. They think they're coming off. A lot of those guys on defense start on special teams. They've been on the field now a long time.
And you saw James Franklin come right out, go with a big man set, tough over there, power football.
Corey Jackson is the fullback in front of Scott. Turner throws near side. Hayward Bay dropped it. Incomplete. No completion. Now he's still running out of sidelines, but you can tell Virgil to come on back. He waved it off right from the start. I guess he didn't hear the whistle.
The guy gonna be tired there is 74, Bruce Campbell, the big fella. Great effort.
The tackle chased him all the way down the field.
He'll be done for the series.
Virginia Tech might want to think about subbing out both their starting cornerbacks. Those are 2 guys just ran 80 yards down the field.
Look at Macho Harris, who's playing some offense tonight. He can't make keys, just struggling to get back down the field.
Bud Foster yelling at him because he wants him to stay on the field, but he's gassed. They're both coming out.
I guarantee you, I would watch Bruce Campbell on this next play. Left tackle. You know he's gassed.
They're going to keep Virgil in there. Harris is out, and this is a well-used timeout by Bud Foster on defense. A silly thing. I mean, clearly incomplete. You got 2 DBs running 80 yards down the field.
Well, and you know the play's not live. There's nobody in the crowd screaming, so you know the play's dead. Well, turn around and get back in the
They didn't know.
The coaching staff was on the field. They were waving them, telling them to slow down.
So, 2:48 to go in this third quarter. Maryland threatening to cut into this lead. They'll face a 3rd and 8 when we come back. Let's check the BCS standings. Alabama is now the 5th straight time a #1 team's going to play a team in a top 15. You realize that? It was Oklahoma going down, Texas playing 3 straight weeks, now Alabama going to LSU. And Pete Carroll, you talked to him. He was angry about the BCS. They dropped to 7th this week.
Yeah, I talked to Pete today, following up on what I'd heard out west, that he was complaining about the BCS, wanting a playoff system and all that. Pete said, look, I haven't just started talking about this. For years I've been talking about a playoff system. And, it is what
I haven't heard him that loudly, to be fair.
But you know what?
Until you still getting heard about your particular team in the BCS, then these guys speak out. The Pac-10 has been one of the least.
But he's got a great team, Chris. Their last 4 opponents, since we saw those guys at Oregon State, they've had 214 points to 20 for their opponents.
They're a great team. I'm not arguing that.
Very good football team. Hey, here's the deal. An 8-team playoff. Not original thought by Pete Carroll.
The president-elect called for a playoff. Executive order. I know it's not the top priority when he takes office January 20th.
I may change my vote. I may change my vote.
I knew I loved the guy. Playoff. He's a playoff man. Those are ESPNU All-State standings. Maryland on 3rd down. Turner fires short. Hayward Bay blocked. Not this time, says Brett Warren. That was a play they scored on, but Warren sniffed it out. Hayward Bay hit hard, very slow to get up. He's still just being helped to his feet. Now he is back down to 1 knee. His helmet is off. Warren delivered the blow.
I'll tell you what the blow was, and you said it, Fowler, was a great call by Bud Foster to call timeout, get his defense prepared, and the inside out busting. Well, that defense going for the bubble screen.
Coaches told us that Brett Warren in high school never dropped back in zone coverage. He's always playing downhill. Well, you saw a great example of it right there. And what about the hit by Chris Turner takes?
Yeah, World's got it maybe a little bit late, no flag, but Hayward Bay, he's pumped up as he comes off. Negakese on for a field goal attempt to try to cut this to a 7-point game. Hayward Bay, he's ready for the 4th quarter. This is getting tight here.
Our fly on the wall, the snoop, Aaron Andrews over there listening.
From 27. Straight through. So the muff punt converted to a field goal. Maryland has momentum. Hokies still had the lead by 7. I'm not hurt. I'm all right.
And good for him. This is a football team back in the game, right?
There was nothing, no fire at all the entire first half on that sideline.
It's important for Maryland's sideline to see one of its team leaders come back, get all fired up. You get smacked like that, get right back up. We got a 1-possession football game going right now.
talked about the ACC. I mean, it's just a free-for-all. You can't predict in this conference what you're going to see week to week. We'll start with the Atlantic standings. And Maryland is the only team in either division that just has one loss. That's why this game is so important. The Noles, Wake Forest, BC, Clemson all kind of still in the hunt. They'd like to see Maryland lose this game, of course.
Well, Maryland and Georgia Tech each lead their divisions respectively by only half a game. Again, the only conference in college football with 11 teams that are 500 or better.
And 9 of them have winning records.
And next week, we have a chance to see Virginia Tech play at Miami on Thursday night. So another big tilt down there.
And this team right here, when we're calling tonight, they've lost 3 games. They're still in control of their destiny in the 9th game of the season.
Remember, in a couple of weeks, Georgia Tech, first place in the division, hosting Miami on a Thursday night. So we'll be living down here in the ACC for a while and dealing with this conference. By far the most competitive conference in terms of the margin of victory, guys. They played 28 ACC games. 18 of them. 18 out of 28. 2/3 of them decided by a touchdown or less. That's remarkable.
Last week in 4 of the ACC games, they came down to last minute and 46 seconds.
Is that one of those esoteric numbers you're coming up with?
Pretty good one, I thought. The average margin of victory is just 9.8. That's very low. This is Roberts. Returns it to the 25. And ironically, the biggest blowout entire ACC season was the one loss by the first place Terrapins, and they lost 31-0 to Virginia. Aaron, what's going on down there?
Well, Hayward Bay is holding court on the sidelines, and as you guys talked about it, Maryland right back in it. And, having Texas Tech head coach Mike Leach on the phone made me think about what Ralph Friedgen told us. That Texas Tech game, he preached to his team, hey, one play could turn around everything. Of course, we saw Fowler's face when Crabtree caught that pass. He also said he talked about David Tyree's catch in the Super Bowl. I mean, this could be it, maybe, guys.
Yes, this is Evans. Yeah, that's right. He watched all those close games last Saturday on their week off, and his message to the team was just that. The game's going to be close. Be ready. Prepare. So when that moment comes to make that play, you can make it.
And you know what? This goes back to earlier what we talked about, that Friedgen, he gave up the offensive coordinator role to James Franklin so that he could be a bigger picture guy, and he could mentor not only players, but his coordinators and his coaching staff. And I think he sees things more clearly now that he's not having to game plan day in and day out.
Second down throw for Glennon, and it's complete to Evans. He has a first down at the 35. Here's a guy, known for his play calling. He called the plays for Georgia Tech. They won a piece of the national championship 1990. Called the plays for the Chargers, and they lost to the Niners in the Super Bowl. So he's a play caller by nature. It was tough for him to give it up, but he thinks it's a smart move. No second guessing.
He wanted to hire someone that he had worked with. James Franklin was the wide receiver coach at Maryland from 2000 to 2004, and they think alike. They see things alike.
And notice that Boone is back, the tight end. And this is motion, but a straight-ahead keeper by the big man. Gains about 4. Boy, interesting night for Boone. He's caught a touchdown pass. He's run the ball in the tailback position. He's taken some direct snaps. The quarterback hasn't thrown one yet.
What a great relief for this coaching staff to be able to see, though, that their offensive line has given some protection to Sean Glennon, and they have Tyrod Taylor in the healing for down the road.
Yeah, they're using Boone because Tyrod Taylor is not healthy. They want to get that running threat from the quarterback position because it's so tough for the defense to deal with. And he's not going to go 50, 60 yards like Taylor, but he can punish a defense. He's carried the ball 5 times, and this will be number 6. No, he wants to throw it. Big Boone on the rollout. Boom, lowers his head and falls forward. Wanted to see him throw it, but what a 4-yard run to the crowd. Saying Boone. You love that, Craig.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, Jesse, that looked like you back in your creatine days, buddy.
That was Wojak again in the collision. They've just been beaten all night.
I'm going to start wondering if this defense, when they see Boone lined up a quarterback, are going to start saying, oh, man.
Number 33 has been beating number 8 all night.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, did he deliver it. That was a shake, the shoulder pads and headgear up.
He showed pretty good quicks rolling out with the ball in his hand, didn't he?
280-pound quarterback.
That's it. 15 minutes to play. Hokies face a third and short when we start the 4th period. Up by 3 in the Wild and Woolly ACC. Oh, no!
Hydroxycut.
Get Hydroxycut today and new Hydroxycut drink mix packets at stores everywhere.
Tradition at the end of the third quarter here at Lane City. The old hokey pokey. Put your right foot in, right foot out. They got about 50 tuba players in that line there. Not the Rockettes, but they get it done.
Did they do this in Canada growing up, the hokey pokey?
No, you can't do it on ice, Craig.
This is a crucial play. It was a 3rd and short to start the fourth quarter. And Maryland thinks they drew him offside, and it is a false start for Glennon and the Hokies offense, and that changes the complexion of this play. Actually, they didn't get it, and now they're going to have to punt the ball.
That was big. Virginia Tech needed to convert that to try to take some of this momentum away that Maryland's been accruing here the last couple drives. Maryland now, 1 possession down, going to get the ball right back.
So Okendo back to receive the punt. And it angles out of bounds. So poor field position for the Terrapins, but they get the ball back. Now just 7 points down. We'll show you that third down play again. They kind of quick snapped it before we were ready, and I don't think there was some clear miscommunication on the snap, kind of looked like.
Just not ready.
There was not an offensive line in sync on a crucial play, trying to prolong that drive.
Well, they had a tight end coming in motion on that play, and Lyman wasn't ready to come out of the stance. That was just, that play debacle 3 or 4 different areas at once.
I thought there was a dead ball foul before the snap, but they don't rule it that way. And so Glennon just shaking his head as Turner goes back to work from the 16. Well, Scott in the slot. A different look here for the Terrapins on first down. Turner straight back. Has protection. Fires incomplete. Short route. Really no one open there. Lansford watching the tight end was the receiver.
Yeah, and Turner looked unsettled there. I mean, he got back and he was flinching with his body. No rhythm. Didn't see it and understand what the play was going to be.
Again, in the West Coast offense, you got to be committed to the throws. You need good footwork, but you got to pull the trigger when guys open up. With a lot of short passes, a lot of those windows close quickly, and if you usually got to flinch like that, you probably got to go somewhere else with the football.
Watch Bud Foster here to dial it up here and start coming with some numbers from different spots.
Scott knifes into the secondary. A flag comes down. Scott picked up 8, but we'll check the flag. Maryland guilty of just 2 minor penalties tonight. That's the first major one, and it's costly. That was the longest run of the night for Scott. 5 yards, and it'll get marched back. Friedgen didn't particularly enjoy that call.
Holding on the offense. Number 72. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Now they got Phil Costa. They were able to overcome some holding penalties in their big win against NC State at homecoming, but the offensive line's had a problem with that.
Well, this Maryland team has just been good with penalties in general. They're averaging less than 5 penalties a game, but this is not the time now in the fourth quarter down to start committing these dumb fouls.
All right, so you got to chip back away here. You don't want to give it up with the field position where it is right now, so be smart. Don't try to hit it all in one play.
Turner under center on 2nd and 17. Rolls out, flips it short and behind Scott. Wouldn't have gone very far anyway, but it's a second straight inaccurate throw by Turner in this possession.
Didn't it look like, Chris, that he just kind of threw the ball? I mean, Jesse, he wasn't really to his man. He's out of sync.
He's been out of sync on this series. He sure has. And they're trying to move the pocket. They're trying to get him away from this pass rush from Virginia Tech, but on the run still. Chris Turner not looking so precise here on this drive.
Yeah, I'd be real careful. If you're seeing that as James Franklin as a play caller on 3rd down and 17.
That's the way your defense is playing right now. I think you just try to get some of it back, get ready to punt. Not a lot of play calls for this situation.
Hokies bring pressure up the middle. Turner fires sideline, and that's another wild throw. Hayward Bay was there, but it was 5 or 6 feet over his head.
All night on 3rd and long, Bud Foster has brought a bunch of bodies. He's brought heat the whole night.
His game plan has worked perfectly tonight, right? He just sets them up so he gets you in 3rd and long. They pin their ears back, and he's got that mentality.
You'd like Bud, don't you, Chris? I think we all do.
No, he's got a tremendous reputation as a defensive coordinator, respected by everyone they play. So here's the punt. Travis Baltz is an excellent punter, and they need a boomer here. Moncho driven back to the 43. Harris across midfield. And the Hokies will have excellent field position at the Maryland 43 as they go to work up 7. And 1 for his last 6. You could see some frustration for Turner, maybe confused by the pressures, maybe a little less sure of his protection. Needs to get back in a rhythm.
Well, this is not the time that Chris Turner needs to be having some problems figuring out what's going on defense. He's got to play confident right now. He is the leader on this offense. This Maryland offense needs him to be clicking. You see him on the phone talking to James Franklin.
We'll check with Aaron in a second. It's not been because of his big commanding pass game. They've gotten back in this thing. Evans on first down. It was a little bubble screen, which wasn't well thrown, that Hayward Bay turned into a touchdown. Aaron, what do you see down there now?
Just the same as you, the frustration coming from Chris Turner. You know, he walked off the field and 2 coaches tried to intercept him and said something, and he said, I can't hear when you're talking to me at the same time. He kind of lost his cool a little bit there with the coaching staff. You see him get off the phone, mad at himself. He's going to have to regroup here, guys.
He's a junior. He's been in some big games, but this is still a little bit different atmosphere. Bud's defenses will do that to the best of them. Cole comes in motion, and they hand it straight ahead to Evans. It'll be 3rd and about 3 as we check back with Reese.
Dr. Pepper conference update.
2 great quarterbacks, Reese. Des Bryant for the Pokes. Crabtree, of course, for Texas Tech. Great receiver matchup as Glennon delivers the short throw and a catch right near the first down marker. There's Jarrett Boykin. They needed about 3, and they get the first down.
Jarrett Boykman's a true freshman wide receiver. These coaches really think has a chance to be special here. You saw the strong hands right there. He's got some big hands now. We shook his hand yesterday in meetings. He wears XXX wide receiver gloves, and his fingers are so thick they rip the seams. You saw a good example of those strong hands reeling that football in there.
The previous play is under review.
So they'll check the catch by Boykin to see if it holds up. I guess 3XL. I don't know anything about glove sizes.
I don't know. And are they
big hands?
And it sounds like the gloves are poorly manufactured. I mean, you ought to have a little expansion opportunity there.
And he gets his big hands on it. Nolan Carroll hit him from behind. Control? It's tough to see the.
Did he have control, Chris? Yeah, that's hard to overturn too. Boykin, one of these young wide receivers, though, that really has a chance for a bright future. Dyrell Roberts, we've seen him on kick returns tonight do an outstanding job. But they have a lot of talent here. It's just been a matter of their quarterback situation. You know, they're finally tonight getting some quarterback play, and you see the results.
If the call is upheld, it'll be a first down at the 33. If it's incomplete, it's going to be 4th down and decision time. Another look. It's really tough to see.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. The ball hits the ground there. You saw the official looking right down at it, so he had a pretty good view.
Nothing conclusive. It's tough to see.
They're searching.
Maryland fans had to watch. There was a review of a play that would have been the game-winning touchdown reception by Hayward Bay in their last game against NC State. I thought it looked like a touchdown. One of those like 4-camera games. They didn't have a lot of looks at it. They didn't overturn it. I thought that Maryland was the victim of a bad call. The replay couldn't rectify it. Ended up kicking a field goal to win the game anyway. Sometimes no matter how many cameras you have, it's tough to get a decisive look at it.
They need to be over there right now taking advantage of this time to figure out how to get Turner on course. You know what? Figure out something. Get his head right. This is a nice little break for him.
Well, Chris Turner's a real laid-back guy. He's from Simi Valley, California. Real laid-back guy, and his leadership skills. Everybody in Maryland talks about, while he's not the biggest yeller, he has got a lot of confidence. He'll regroup.
After review, the ball carrier was short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th and 1 at the 34-yard line.
So the catch is good, but the spot will be moved back to the 34, short of the first 10. Another look.
Take a look at where that knee touches. Boom.
Yeah, but where you had the ball, Jesse.
That's
Isn't it
right,
right?
yeah.
When you first came into the body.
That's where it is. Let's see here if we got a better look.
Right,
we were looking at the catch, not so much the spot.
Well, the knee's down there. It does look from there, though, that he is behind that first down marker.
Yeah.
So a decision. I'll go for it. Big play here, Maryland, if they can get the stop, still down just one score.
Oh, Big Boone, number 8. Where's he?
He's on the right side of the formation. Evans is the tailback in the eye. Boone comes in motion to the left now. Evans running left. There's a first down. Quarterback with a bad ankle, don't necessarily want him to push off on a sneak, so they give it to Evans, and he gets the first.
320-pound offensive line average against a 270-pound defensive line. You know they've got confidence up front, and Evans is just great with his eyes, short yardage goal line situation.
Well, they've been doing it all night, Craig, too. Now they're just under 200 yards rushing on the day, so when they have to have it, of course you're keeping it on the ground, getting behind those hogs, getting that first down.
Rushing yards in this game, 199 for Tech. -12 for Maryland. In motion, they hand it off to Roberts. Darrell Roberts, short gain. Terrell Skinner stayed at home.
Frank Beamer has done an excellent job with his coaching staff of keeping this ship floating. You know what? You get into a little bit of a lull there, and you got some quarterback distractions. You lose your first 2 quarterbacks last week in the Florida State game. They just can't kind of stayed the course.
Yeah, they're 5-3, and it's not the record they wanted to have, but his message to the team was simple. We still control our destiny, guys. We win 4 games. We win the division. We have a chance to play for a spot in the BCS bowl game. So it's kind of the start of a new season, a 4-game season. And the delay, Evans breaks a tackle in the backfield, fights forward for a yard. Deion Armstrong on the stop, and it'll be 3rd down. Yeah, they went there and played a neutral field game and lost to East Carolina. Here's the weird stretch, though, here. Again, a 53-day span. Only the one home game against the Hilltoppers. And down the stretch, it's a more favorable schedule for Virginia Tech. 3 of the last 4 at home. They need 6. They haven't converted in their last 5 third downs. Lennon fires left side. Nice high catch. They convert this one at the 20. You can see the talent of Jared Boykin. All those big paws go to grabbing the ball.
Another great example of the strong hands, and this is just a timing throw from Sean Glennon. He's going to put his back foot in the ground and let it rip. It's a little bit high and behind, but Jared Boykin putting up the mitts and bringing it down to convert.
No controversy about that spot. It's just across the line. Hokies are in the red zone now. No gain for Evans.
Time now for Chris Koch, defensive coordinator at Maryland, Virginia Tech graduate, former linebacker here. He's going to have to dial it up a little bit. He may have to take a few chances here to create a turnover and opportunity for his offense.
Again, his defenses have been doing so well in the second half of ACC games. They've only given up 17 points total in 4 ACC games in the second half. You're right, Craig. I think now you might have to start rolling the dice a little bit, start trying to push this line of scrimmage back.
Big game for Chris. Has not been back since he was a player here. Met his wife here at Virginia Tech. Lennon, pump fakes. He's chased. And tiptoes gingerly out of bounds. It'll be about a 2-yard loss.
And Glennon, I'm not sure tiptoe, even if he's healthy, he can run very fast. He's not.
Rick Costa was chasing him. I mean, he's not the fastest guy.
He blazes that.
But don't you sense that every step he takes is so ginger?
Which is why I think we got to give him a lot of credit, because he is gutting it out. I've tried to play before with high ankle sprains, and it's not fun at all. Every time you're out there, every step you take.
Yeah, that boot.
It hurts.
That protected boot is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Another 3rd down. Need 12. Late pressure. Flips it off on the screen. Here's Evans, has a block, lowers the head. They'll need about a yard. Philistine on the stop. Do you kick it here to go up 10?
Absolutely. You're making a two-possession game, no question.
Boy, look up front, though, at all. You're going to see a lot of crossing and movement coming from that Maryland defense. They're running right by linemen. A great call by Brian Steinspring with the screen. Excellent call.
They stop him a yard short, so here comes Keys. And a great story. Waited his whole career to have a chance. Had to pay his own way to school. He thought about giving it up. Won the job. They gave him a scholarship, and that's why he is super reliable. No problem from 27 yards, and the Hokies lead stretches back to 10 points at the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Can Turner and the Terps mount a rally?
Sports Center after the game.
Well, it's a screen. The pass is behind Hayward Bay, but he takes off, and they won't catch it. Touchdown, Terps. There's the big play they needed. Yeah, the screen pass sparked them, but that's the only touchdown for the Terrapins tonight. And back down by 10, 7:30 to work with. And this Hokie crowd will try to impose itself, but Foster's defense back on the field. Turner's had history leading rallies on the road. It was Game 5 a year ago against Rutgers. He rallied for 14 points in the fourth quarter. Pulled that game out. Smith hit hard as he crossed the 30. Stopped in his tracks. Cody Graham, one of the key contributors on defense and an excellent special teams player. Here's that rally we talked about for Turner up in Piscataway, late September. Buying time. And the short touchdown pass. Good win on the road. Given a ride off by his teammates. Now firmly entrenched as the starter, but he's had a rough patch here tonight. One of his last 6. There's the short completion to Meggett. Fights to get back to the line of scrimmage. Whirls on the stop.
I think you're seeing an example right there of James Franklin just trying to get his quarterback back into rhythm. Find him an easy completion to try to get that confidence back going again, because they're going to need him here down the stretch.
Well, and it's given the offensive line a little time to set their pass, because, you're not out there a lot. You had an offense at Virginia Tech who controlled it a lot, went down and scored. So everything's just been out of sync for the most part.
You're right, Craig. They used 6 minutes on that field goal drive. So there's some urgency for Maryland. A 2-possession game. They can't be methodical here.
They need to at least score 3 points on this drive.
But they got to do it quickly. Far side throw. Again, it's a catch by Isaiah Williams, but a very short gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
And your playmakers, you right now are seeing a Virginia Tech defense that has a lot of speed, that has more ability to stop in open space what Maryland's bringing to them, other than Haywood Bay on that one play.
You hear that? They got the gobblers going to the PA. I haven't heard that tonight yet. They'll bring that turkey sound out when they want the crowd to respond with noise. It usually works.
It's working right now.
3rd and 6, a crucial conversion attempt for Turner here. Pressure, fires far side. Macho Harris jumped it, got a hand in it, and broke it up.
I don't know how that wasn't called offside right there. That looked like there was someone jumping. Yeah.
At a minimum in the neutral zone. But here again, number 1, Macho Harris. He's using the sideline as his friend to help him cover, and he breaks out on the ball. That ball's late getting there. Jesse, I'm with you. You know what? They really needed to execute to try to get points on this drive.
Instead, there's ball to the punter. It's a boomer. Harris just lets it bounce and it backs up. And the Hokies will be backed up, but expect a steady diet of Mr. Evans as Tech protects a 10-point lead.
It's a whole new neighborhood. And in part by Zales, America's diamond store since 1924.
Take you backstage, life on the road. This was our crew bowling last night. First one to hit 3 strikes wins the pool. Look at the cocky director, Mike Schwab. Strike, strike, strike. Right through the human tunnel. That's kind of intimidating, right? You got to bowl through that human tunnel there.
Now the problem with that is Schwabby's got to go home and say, honey, I had a really hard week. I was working hard.
We really appreciate the job this terrific crew does. And they might have a good time, too. Bowling night in Christiansburg, Virginia on a Wednesday night.
Kingpin.
Now time for Glennon and his big offensive lineman and Mr. Evans to kill some clock here. Evans, boy, what a night. What a night with his little son James sleeping through it. The redshirt freshman from Indianapolis approaching the 200-yard mark.
And you know what? We talked about it in the meetings yesterday. This young man has a lot of talent dating back to his high school with the 61 touchdowns last year. But I love the vision, how about the moxie of the kid? He kept going and bringing it play after play.
He's so impressive. He seems to have all the physical attributes that you want in a running back. He's big, he's strong, he's got great bounce, great vision. He can cut, and he's young, so he's hungry. And he comes out tonight, and he's having a huge game.
Just needs 4 more for his first 200-yard game. Gets about 2 right there. Inside of 5 minutes to play as we check in for Reese Davis, the Sports Center right now.
All right, Chris, ESPN The Magazine's Tim Kirchin reporting that sources say the Dodgers have offered Manny Ramirez $45 million for a 2-year deal, option for a 3rd year. NFL game going on right now. Broncos and Browns 23-20. They're in the 4th quarter. Brady Quinn had a nice night. First 2 touchdown passes of his career, both to Kellen Winslow, 19-27, 175. Sports Center, when you guys are done, stay current, ESPN News.
Dismal division the Broncos are in, huh?
That's nothing new either.
Evans again. He won't quite get to that 200-yard mark on that carry. Wojak on the collision. I love the story about the recruitment of Evans. We talked about becoming a father at 17, but Billy Height, who coaches the running backs, and he's been here about 100 years, 31 to be exact, to check the rush chart for Evans.
That's pretty one-sided.
Right up the middle. You know, no fooling around there. That was one of the few plays he hasn't. But go ahead and finish it.
Yeah, well, Billy Height, he finds out that Evans and the girlfriend Tanisha Lang about to give birth. He goes to the hospital, and he hasn't signed yet with Virginia Tech. So Billy Height goes there. The families have gathered. The baby's on the way. Well, we talked about Virginia Tech and the academics. It seems like a crazy thing for a coach to do, but Evans really appreciated it. He said a lot of schools might be scared away by the kid as a junior becoming a father and how it could be a distraction and a responsibility. And Billy Height wasn't scared away at all, and Evans really appreciated that show of support and ended up coming to Virginia Tech. We thought about giving it up, quitting. He was too far away from his girlfriend and the baby, and they moved him down here to Blacksburg. They're close by. It's taken a lot collectively, the 2 families, to chip in and help. And Darren Evans making all those folks look like their hard work and their decision has paid off. He's now at 200 yards in this big game.
You saw that rush chart a second ago. All of those yards coming behind the big bodies up front. Left guard Nick Marshman, 339 pounds. Center Ryan Schumann, 293. And Sergio Render at right guard, 308 pounds. That's where all the production has come.
Going against 285 pounds at most.
The workhorse again. Terrell Skinner just got flattened.
You know what? This right here, this is what buys you into the hearts of your teammates. Did you hear that? He threw the bone.
That's illegal. That should be illegal.
You threw the chicken bone at him.
Terrell Skinner, free safety, is bigger than Darren Evans.
Not on that play.
Not on that play, wasn't. Man.
Skinner showing some toughness to get right up from that hit.
Yeah, good for him.
And one more time. Dropping that shoulder. Philistine on the stop that time. Inside of 3.5 to play. Well, he knew they had to run the ball. Frank Beamer said, if we can't do that, we got problems with some gimpy quarterbacks. So that offensive line has responded, and Mr. Evans has done tremendous work. Hokies are up by 10. Timeout on the field. ACC country, you'll see Clemson and Florida State. No longer a Bowden Bowl, of course, with Dabo Swinney in charge of the Tigers. Evans again gets a little breather in the timeout and barrels forward for about 12 more.
That's the third time on this drive they've run that exact play. They've gotten all their production on this drive from that exact play we just saw.
You remember when we were driving over here tonight, and I said, you know, watching me slithers a little bit like Marcus Allen used to. Did you see that slide? You slide, but he keeps going forward.
Deceptively hard to tackle, to get a good hit on.
You can't square him up, and then when you think you're going to, you get on your heels, and he smokes you.
And he's 6 feet tall, so it's not like he's a small target.
Their best cover guy, cornerback Nolan Carroll, is down on the field. They're taking a look at his leg. Carroll in pain. This has been a really, really impressive night, by this Vatech offensive line. Maryland is not a pushover on defense. So this is a physical defense, and the way they've come out with a purpose, and these guys have been underperforming according to the coaches and themselves. They've disappointed themselves this season, and the combination of the back, Craig, and the offensive line finally coming together. Evans finally getting it, running better than he's run all year long.
The timing of it that Brian Steinspring has been speaking of was there tonight, and it was evident. You get the push up front, the explosiveness. That was the word that was missing in the meetings. You watch the films, they weren't explosive, but they were tonight.
It makes you wonder if Darren Evans wouldn't have been more productive earlier in the season. He would have been in such a mystery maybe had that offensive line been able to play better early in the year. But you get the feeling also this O-line understood that with a lot of inexperience at wide receiver, a lot of inexperience at running back, and a beat-up quarterback situation, they had to play well here tonight if they were going to have any success at all. The game was on them, and they came out and dominated the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's got, 224 yards rushing. That's the most for a Hokie tailback since Mike Emo back in 2004. But Evans' production alone, rushing the ball, he's caught a couple passes for 20 yards. That's more than Maryland's entire offense tonight.
And we haven't had to say anything about Sean Glennon being carried off the field. He's been hit a couple of times back there, and he's had to move out of the pocket a lot. But, this has been a real productive offensive line. And it's been missing. It's been missing for a year. Virginia Tech used to run the ball well. And then Brandon Orr came along. He was in, he was out. Now they get a guy that they can hang their hat on.
It's a school freshman rushing record tonight for Evans. They've had a lot of excellent running backs here down through the years. As you know, Lee Suggs, of course, played a lot as a young guy. And had a
Orr was good, too, at one time.
Yeah, although he never really panned out, to be honest with you. He never really achieved the kind of things they thought he would be. And Kenny Lewis was the guy, and then he went down, and Darren Evans, the redshirt freshman, has picked it up. Evans still running hard and fighting for a couple of yards as we check back with Reese.
All right, Chris, every week we honor the AT&T ESPN All-America Player of the Week. It's Graham Harrell, 474 yards, couple of touchdowns, a very significant one in that victory over Texas. You can vote every week. Text the word vote to 51234 on your AT&T wireless phone to access the nominees and vote, and also enter for a chance to win a trip to the national championship game.
Reese, thank you. Our Applebee's weekend menu. We talked about the Pokes in Texas Tech. Nick Saban and Alabama go to LSU. It's the first time any coach at Alabama other than Paul Bryant has coached the Crimson Tide as the #1 team. Wow. Go back to LSU. Maybe I'm crazy for not giving up on LSU's defense. I think they maybe have one more big effort in them.
When you visit with the defensive coaches at LSU, they are confident that they have the right players, but it takes the team. We've seen many times when we go on the road, if an offense isn't there, the defense struggles. You keep them out there, they have a lot of snaps. But I think LSU's defense, they'll bring it around.
It'll be interesting to see in that game, as good as Alabama's been running the football, stopping the run, if LSU can't get Charles Scott going, is Jarrett Lee good enough to beat that defense? He struggled last week against Tulane.
Yeah,
was under 50% completions, threw for only 99 yards. Is Jarrett Lee good enough to beat Alabama?
I don't know. They're going to have to win an ugly defensive game, I think. Evans just added to his total. Darren Evans and inside the 20. This has become a monster game for the freshman.
This looks like he's back at Warren Central High School in Indianapolis right now.
Good running backs in the fourth quarter when the carries get well above 20 and they don't look like they've lost a gear. Those are the great ones. There's no drop-off in his speed, in his production. The guy just keeps battering along.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you're right, though. I mean, has he not gotten stronger as the game's gone on?
He's had 32 carries and a school record 253 yards and a 50-yarder, a 45-yarder. That was for 29 on that play.
Star in the making.
You know what's going on right now? Randy Shannon's sitting down in Miami. Next week they go down and they play on Thursday night, and Shannon's sitting there thinking, okay, we better bring a defense to stop that guy.
Yeah, and remember that Tyrod Taylor could be healthy enough to go a week from tonight down there, Dolphin Stadium. That'll be a crucial game. They're all crucial from here on out. Maryland's going to lose their second ACC game, so at least 2 losses for every team in the conference now.
It's the same as last year. Remember, we came here, they played Boston College. Taylor was hurt. Glennon played pretty well. The next week, we had him at Georgia Tech. Didn't go with Taylor, went with Glennon. Played pretty well.
Virginia Tech has now won its last 5 games playing at home unranked against a ranked opponent.
The ranked teams continue to go down here on Thursday night, don't they?
Upset Thursday.
Unbelievable.
I think the player of the game is pretty clear. Presented by Wrangler. Darren Evans with his family, his dad, his grandmother, and his little 2-year-old son. He'll be 2 in November, later this month. Watching, sleeping through it. They'll wake him up and something. Dad did good tonight, James. 253. He was napping throughout the first half.
Now, there'll be a little step in their giddy-up this week at practice, knowing that they got somebody they can block for back there. Good job by Coach Beamer.
25 more yards rushing for Evans than Bud Foster's defense gave up. And the Hokie defense, let's not forget that part of the equation. They stepped up tonight, and they throttled an offense, Jesse, that you said was number 2 in the ACC coming in.
They played so much more physical up front. They held the conference's leading rusher to under 60 yards rushing in this game. Great overall team performance by Frank Beamer and Virginia Tech.
And by Sean Glennon, stepping up, having courage going on the football field today with a bad leg.
Playing 60 minutes.
So Friedgen's team will head home. Now 4-2 in the ACC. The Hokies improve to 3-2 and get set for that collision a week from tonight down there against the Hurricanes, who've gotten themselves a little bit of a roll with the 2-quarterback system working pretty well. So that sets up as the renewal of a good old rivalry that started in the Big East and now carries over to the ACC. Had a few fireworks, most of them from number 32 in maroon. Career and school record for Darren Evans. Let's go down to the field.
And he just found out from a few of his teammates that ran over that you did break the school record. You set a new one, by the way. Hey, you told us yesterday, I've been waiting to just bust a long run. Why were you able to do it tonight?
That was all offensive line. We practiced with a lot of intensity all week. That's what we just came out there. We just hit him in the mouth, and that's what we did.
Talk about hitting somebody in the mouth. How were you able to hit Terrell Skinner as hard as he did here in the fourth?
It just looked like he didn't want to hit me. Just lowered my shoulder on him.
You set a school record. Huge night for you, career night. What does it mean when I tell you that your 2-year-old James slept through the entire night? We put him on camera. He wasn't awake once to see his dad's night.
Hey, that's all right. He still knows Daddy out there doing this thing.
Congratulations. Go enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Ooh. That's a lot of fun. He's a really good young guy. I talked to him yesterday, and it meant so much to him to have a big game with the family down here, making the drive from Indianapolis. Sometimes it's easy to feel a little bit disconnected from your family, from your child down here in the mountains, but Evans gets them all together tonight and has a career night, breaks the school record, and the Hokies win at 23-13, and we'll see him a week from tonight down there in Miami.
Randy Shannon, get them ready, boys. This Virginia Tech about a ground game.
Yeah, that won't be in Lane Stadium, though. The magic of Lane does it again on a Thursday night as the Hokies win it. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Sports Center's coming up next. We're over on ESPN News. For Craig, Jesse, Aaron, and our entire team down here in Blacksburg, Virginia, I'm Chris Fowler saying so long for now. Hokies win it by 10.